wait on our panel. I am on the block with Jen on all social media platforms, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I'm also on the block with Jen at Gmail. If you want to Gmail me a suggestion, a topic, an answer to something, a question to something, a collaboration inquiry, an interview inquiry, on the block with Jen at Gmail. Okay. I am also on the block with Jen, Cash App. Yes. If you want to support the show because you like it, because you think we're really, really cool, because you think we're really, really funny, and you want to help us keep the church lights on, hit me Cash App if you're catching the replay right there on the block with Jen, or hit me with a super chat in the chat. And you guys know where the chat is, the little $ on the bottom right of the chat. You know where you guys go and get verbal fisticuffs with me and other people. Do it with the chat. I hear you better when your comment is attached to a super chat. Weird, I know, but that's how my ears work. Okay. So tonight's topic, all right, I'm sure you guys have already heard, Lala Anthony went viral because she said most married people are miserable, right? I want to take it from a different angle, right? You know how they say more money, more problems? I say more looks, more options. Does Lala Anthony have that point of view now because she got her BBL and she looks very, very sexy? Does that change your point of view? Do your looks change your point of view? Is she scorned? She got divorced from, Carmelo Anthony after he cheated a couple of times, had a baby on her. Is that where her point of view comes from? Or is she making absolute perfect sense because marriage is now passe, right? No one's hell bent on marriage. Correct that. Not no one, but lots of people are looking at marriage differently now. The need for marriage isn't like the need it used to be. So is Lala Anthony onto something? I've been saying this shit for months. If you want to see how I feel about marriage, I'll throw the link in the description later. But I did a whole stream on how I feel about marriage, how most people are not cut out for it. But I want to explore what Lala said, and I want to explore the backlash that she got. Let's just say that the backlash that she got, and why people are telling her that she feels the way she feels, why she feels that way. Because you know how people are in public, they tell you how you feel about something. That's the thing with social media. You can say something and I'd be like, no, you're saying it because X, Y, and Z. So let's explore that today. How you doing, C. Sinatra? You want my bacon, egg, and cheese? Did you guys catch that video I did making my bacon, egg, and cheese? Let me bring my people up and get into this. And I gotta dim these lights. Lord almighty, shit. I'm giving shit. It's bright as hell in here. I'm looking like a light-skinned friend that looked like Michael Jackson. Shit. All right. The lovely and talented YB Limited. How are you, Lily?
I'm doing well. Looking good. Looking good.
It's getting closer to the week, so we gotta pull the boobs out and shit.
Yeah, I got a little see-through piece of something going on. I don't know what's going on, but the clothes is about to start coming off.
There you go. See the see-throughs on Thursday. And we get sexier towards the weekend. It's true, guys. We get sexier towards the weekend. No, Saint. How are you, sir?
So first, I want to know if this is an homage to Salma Hayek, who was wearing a see-through on the Golden Globes, the little Golden Globes at 57, and
looking good.
Very nice. Still my proverbial hall pass. And also, I couldn't capture the screen fast enough when you stood up and were adjusting the lights.
The playback. That's what the playback is for.
Hello. That's what the replay is for. Okay, so I'm pulling her up now. Oh, you mean this?
Yeah, that's what she wore at the Globe.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, so it's kind of like a pale pink. We're both doing the pale pink. I don't know if there's a pale pink. There's like a muted pink or whatever. Yes, but Selma, always sexy, that lady.
Although she did give credit to like her makeup artist, her hair. She said, "I didn't wake up out of bed like this."
You know what? That's okay. And here's the thing. I guess that wall that she's supposed to hit keeps missing her.
That's exactly what I thought. I was like, "Oh, where's that wall at?"
Yeah. It's so silly. It's so silly. That is, I'm not exactly a feminist, but it's misogyny. It's something men made up. You gotta hit the wall.
That wall's getting billionaire. So
yeah. You know, long as you're attractive, 40, 50, 60, 70, somebody's going to be checking for you. Someone's going to be checking for you. And that's the reality. Like, we could play around a lot. Like, you hit the whoa, but it's like, as long as you're an attractive human being, you're going to attract somebody.
Right.
That's the reality. I know we have but the reality, that is the reality. If you're an attractive person, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years old, someone's going to be attracted to you. That's the truth.
It's so true. You know, I have two really close girlfriends in the early 70s. The young men literally throw themselves at these two women. I'm gonna send you both a picture of these two ladies in their bikinis, okay? May I add, okay? And then we know about my grandma finding the love of her life at 81, 82.
Hello, right? And it's funny because people are like, oh, well, you know, those are the outliers. People love that word. That word's making the rounds, just like the word narrative. Like every 5 years, you know, social media picks a word and they just beat off to it for those 5 years. So I hear that word around. It's an outlier. I'm like, well, fuck, there's a large population of outliers.
Right.
There's a large population of outliers out here.
They seem to be the majority.
Right. So I'm like, you know, it's fun to play with, and guys get off on, you know what I mean, trying to diminish women or whatever, but someone's always going to be attracted to you somewhere. And I know the retort's going to be, yeah, but they just want to fuck. You're forgetting women just want to fuck too. Sorry, guys.
I still can't understand.
Not my not my angels.
Not my angels. Not never. Yeah. Oh, look at this shit is hilarious. 35 and it's over. Probably for you. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you guys can rebut, but a lot of you guys are single and, dare I say, I'm sorry, respectfully, unattractive men. So, you know, your perspective is different. That's why I said more looks, more options, right? Regarding Lala Anthony. People say more money, more problems. No, it's more money, more options, more looks, more options. And you cannot put your reality and your world onto someone that's above you a level, right? And I know this sounds harsh, and people are like, no, we're all equal, we're all beautiful. We are not. There are levels to this. There are financial levels, there are physical feature levels, there are face levels, there's hair levels, there's body levels, there are levels to this. So it cracks me up, and it happens often. I guess people can't help it. It cracks me up when people talk about, say, a celebrity or a wealthy person, or someone who's attractive, right? Your reality is not their reality. So saying something like, you hit 35 and it's over, for who? For, like, I don't know, someone who's obese and unattractive anyway and is not in a good tax bracket financially. Maybe 35 is over for them. But you have to look at the individual, right? 35 and over in Hollywood is different than your baby mama at 35. Right? And then your baby mama who works at the post office at 35. And that's the funny thing about these conversations, is that people don't see it's different for everybody. And that's what makes these little sayings hilarious to me, where some men think that they qualify for that statement. 35, those women that are 35 and over, sir, those are the women on your level. That's your dating pool. You're not dating that and fly 35 and over. So it's funny, the women you're talking about 35 and over, you shouldn't shun, because those are the women in your dating pool. Okay? You're not going to get a Salma Hayek ever. So the ones that you're saying 35 and over, you should be kneeling at their feet and praising, because those are the women in your dating pool, unless you are wealthy. And none of us are wealthy here. That includes the chat. None of us. Okay? You're not wealthy. You're not wealthy. So stop putting yourself in the shoes of people that are not, you know what I mean, that are above your level. It's weird. I know it's fun and men do it for sport, but it's weird. Unless you're wealthy, you're not even getting me. You're not getting a Salma Hayek. Not with you, not with your looks. And let's face it, most of the guys in the chat are not attractive. You Listen, and you know what? Because I'm a fair person.
Let's bring them up and let them show themselves approved.
Yeah, there you go. I just dropped the link, guys. I know you're listening. I just dropped the link. I want you to prove me wrong. I want you to cam up and show me that you're attractive and you qualify for a Salma Hayek.
Yeah. And we've seen Selma's husband, and yeah, he's a billionaire, I believe. I think he's a billionaire. So I don't know what women think of his looks. I mean, when I look, I'm thinking, as a guy, I'm thinking, man, she could have done better than that look wise, but it's not always about looks either.
Right. So I dropped the link. If you guys want to prove me wrong and you are attractive and you can get like a Salma Hayek who's over 35, for real, honest, come on up. I dropped the link. You guys come up and show me you're attractive and you qualify. And then it's a different conversation. Then I'll respect everything you're saying. Then it's a different conversation. That's
exactly.
My only chance with Selma, unfortunately, I was born too late because I'm probably I'm about 4 years younger than her, but she was in New Orleans for high school. She went to a what you call it, a Catholic kind of like a boarding school in New Orleans. In New Orleans, she talks about it, and I'm like, oh, I might have saw her at the theater or something.
That's so funny.
Missed opportunity.
He was this close. No, he was this close.
We breathe the same air and flushed into the same sewage or something.
You all have shared sewage.
That's right.
How romantic.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, it's not fair. Life ain't fair. The world ain't fair. Mainstream media is not fair. But the facts are, we could get in our feelings, but the facts are you have to be a certain height for X, Y, and Z. You have to be a certain weight for X, Y, and Z. You have to look a certain way for X, Y, and Z. Now, social media has made it possible for all kinds of people, right? Whether you're obese, short, unattractive, in a wheelchair. People in wheelchairs are modeling now. Amputees are modeling, right? So it's a different world. But don't get it twisted. Mainstream is still mainstream, right? There's still, even though they're letting people in because they know there's money there, they still have a certain behind. And in those boardrooms, the conversation is different.
Oh, it is. Oh, it is.
And you know that, Lily.
Oh, it is. I've been in those casting rooms, and baby, if people can hear what we hear in those casting rooms behind closed doors, when these people's pictures come up, it's not pretty. It's not nice. It's not politically correct at all.
At all. Behind those closed doors, let me tell you some of the stuff I've heard. Now, will they hire the girl that looks like Lizzo because the majority of women are obese? Of course. Of course, because it's a business at the end of the day. There's no feelings in business. But it makes people think that that's so this is attractive now. It's attractive monetarily. It's attractive that way. But, this is just harsh reality. I didn't make it up. Don't get mad at the messenger. I didn't make it up. I know our grandmothers say everyone's beautiful. It's not true. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. No.
But, I say it's equally attractive to Big Pharma, and they're all in bed together. So, but that's another.
I was about to say that. Ooh, let me write that down because that's another day. That's what
Is everyone safe in New Orleans?
No, say you got phones, alarms going on back there. What's going on?
Right. I'm just making sure, like, you don't have to run out and save anyone. I'm like, okay, just making sure everyone's safe.
Ooh, Lily, that's a good one. We got to do that one.
Yeah. Oof, that's gonna ruffle some feathers.
Yay!
It's always nice.
Ruffle feathers are prettier. They go out.
They are. Why do you think the peacocks do what they do? Why do you think they do that little song and dance? Like,
all right, guys, let's get into it. My chat be on it though. I appreciate all of you guys. I really do. I appreciate all of your comments. I really do. Just keep it respectful. Tristan, Tristan said, not one man passing on Salma Hayek, no matter her age, whether the man is straight, gay, robot, or alien.
I agree. I approve this message.
I'm not gay, and I want to see them titties up close.
Right. I approve this message.
All right. I'm like, it's fucking Salma Hayek. Her and many other beautiful women. There's so many.
If you haven't watched Frida, you're missing out.
Yes, I've seen Salma's husband. Have you seen his bank account?
Hello. Very attractive.
Okay. All right, guys. So yes, they are the ones that are dogged out with 2 or 3 children, and that's your dating pool, sir.
Get down there in the kennel.
I mean, they fail to realize if you are not a man that's extremely attractive or wealthy, the women that you are bashing are the women in your dating pool. And the reason why you're single now, the majority of you, is because you don't accept that that's your dating pool. And I said that before regarding Andrew Tate and Kevin Samuels, right? The problem with their message was that they made these guys think that they qualify for a different dating lane, and they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But they like the feeling that the Andrew Tate and the Kevin Samuels, they like that hope. They like hearing that all those women who are dogged out with 2 or 3 kids, like this gentleman just described, or the women that are obese, or the women, they think that that's not their dating pool because Andrew Tate and Kevin Samuels, men like that, tell them that that's not their dating pool and they deserve better. But that's your dating pool. And that's why I said before that there is hope for you long as you fully grasp your reality. There is hope for you and there is happiness for you on the other side of grasping your reality. Those women are in your dating pool. And if you lowered the fake standards you have, because I can't even say real standards, because again, you guys are not wealthy, you're not attractive. So if you just lower your standards to what they really are, you can find happiness with that woman who's dogged out with 2 or 3 kids. You really can. Those women can cook.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Those women are nurturing. Those women are caring because they're running around behind 3 kids all the time. And that's what nobody's telling you. The Kevin Samuels and Andrew Tates are telling you, no, those women don't deserve. And I'm like, those are the women that would take care of you, because I wouldn't.
Right.
I wouldn't.
Right.
I have too many options to care that you're unattractive and don't have money. I wouldn't.
So this is what people have to kind of check themselves on. So you hear this in sports all the time, like let's just say LeBron James, or an athlete that, oh, look how many millions they're making. They're not worth it. No, they are worth it because someone's willing to pay them that money. They're worth it. When people say athletes aren't worth it, that's so false, because guess what? If there's someone willing to pay you for what you do, then you are worth it. It's no set. Just because you say somebody's not worth it, you're not the one shelling out the money anyway, right? Same with the guy saying, I deserve best. It's kind of like, what can you get on the market? And if you're not getting that on the market, then no, you don't deserve better. It's just you deserve whatever you can get, or deserve. That's even a strong word. Your market is not as high as you think it is. And sometimes even in sports, athletes will go out there and think they're worth a lot, and then they come back and take less. It's just a lesson. But no, there's no such thing as someone's not average it. You can tell somebody they're average at best all you want, and their Instagram will tell you different.
That's such a great point, because they do say that about athletes. They're like, oh, it's not, you just throwing a ball in the hoop, but I'm like, someone is willing to pay for it. And that's the thing, when these men look at women and say, well, this woman is this, and this woman's not worth that. That woman that you're talking about has more options than you. Lucky guy, yes, I am single by choice, because unlike men, let me tell you how women are smarter than men. Unlike men, when women have certain goals, right? Well, a woman that's as determined as I am, as hell-bent on success as I am, we don't couple up with a struggle buddy, right? If I have certain goals, and listen to this, fellas, because a lot of you will learn from what I'm about to say. I have certain goals that I have to get to. So I'm not going to split my attention with fucking on somebody, sucking on somebody, being cute for them, making their meals, right? Because that's what relationships are. You are responsible for another human's feelings. And it's a constant. I want to go out, if I want to dress a certain way, if I have a meeting in a boardroom and it's 4 men in there and I'm the only woman, I don't need a guy telling me how many guys are going to be there. I don't need the jealousy. I don't need the insecurity. I don't want to wash your dirty ass drawers. Most of you have dirty ass drawers, whether you want to admit it or not. I don't want to fucking cook for you. I don't want to give a fuck when you're sick. Relationships take a lot of work, right? So a smart person knows that that's just going to be a fucking burden, right? And I have goals and dreams and desires that I want to do. That doesn't include me lugging a man with me. I don't care who he is or what he is. He could be wealthy. He could be fine, but I would still have to worry about his feelings and his emotions. And I'd have to compromise, because that's what a good relationship is. You have to compromise. You have to consider their feelings. You have to consider their jealousies. You have to consider their insecurities. They have children. You have to incorporate their children in every fucking thing you do. You can't just jump up Friday morning and say, I'm fucking flying to Hawaii, because you got to worry about his job and what he can do and what he can't do. So I'm single by choice. Do you really think that out of all the men that are trying to get at me, I can't pick one? I can't pick one and say, okay, I'll be your girlfriend. You really think that? With the kind of men that I know, the kind of men that are trying to get at me from all walks of life and all tax brackets, you really think I'm single because I can't get a man? Like, y'all really think that? But I don't blame y'all for thinking that, because, again, the Andrew Tates and the Kevin Samuels will have you think that women are one way. That women are one way. They're born and they want to get married and settle down with some lug that's going to sit on the couch and get boring in 3 fucking years. Because that's what happens to men.
Right.
That is what happens to men.
It becomes, and someone said, smart or selfish? Both. Okay. I'm very clear about that.
Thank
Both.
you. Absolutely selfish. And here's the thing. It's smart and selfish, Lily. You're absolutely right. Because right now I'm about self. Right now I'm about self. So selfish to me is not a dirty word. Selfish is not a dirty word. People try to make selfish a dirty word. Selfish is not a dirty word. If I'm walking down the street and I see someone who's hungry, I'm going to give them my fucking meal. If I do it all the time.
Yeah, right.
I do my charity work. I've done fundraising. Okay. So, but when it comes to me and my goals, I'm very, very selfish. That does not mean I don't have compassion. Don't get them twisted.
Right.
It doesn't mean I don't have compassion. I am selfish in terms of I have goals to achieve. And I feel like I wish some of you guys had better mothers or fathers, because you should have this information already. Like, you guys should have this information. But when you choose YouTube characters to raise you the rest of the way where your parents failed you, it's a fucking mistake. It's a fucking mistake.
It really is. And it goes back. I was just thinking about this more in depth today about how I always talk about everything around us tells us that we are not full and happy and healthy and or any of those things if we are not coupled up, if we're not married, if we're not, with someone, especially for women, to the point that these men still in 2023, guys, we just started 2023, like at this point, the fact that you still think that all women's end goal is to be coupled up, married, and or having children. That is just not the case anymore. Women have woken up and realized that they have more choices and more options. They do not have to have a man to be successful at this stage in life. I know for the period that when I was building my brand and I chose to be single because I just got out of relationships that I was like, hold on. I'm like, hold on, like this is like slowing me down. So let me try this without a relationship. And when I did that, oh my God, my career blew up. I was peaceful. I was happy. I had more money than I ever had in my life. I got more time with my family, more time with my friends, right? And then I realized after all of that, I'm like, damn, do I really want to even couple up right now? I don't know. Let me take a little bit longer because I'm not in a rush. So to think that we all want that is crazy in 2023. Like
Absolutely. I mean, it's insane. Around DeMarco says, hey fam, can't make it tonight preparing for my move. By the way, I have an instrumental album I'm releasing in March on streaming services. Jen, check your inbox. Go ahead. That's what I'm talking about, right? Forward is the only direction in 2023. You guys are still, you know what I mean, chasing your tails with these what women aren't, what women ain't in 2023. I'm telling you, it's like, and I feel like I love what Tyrone said. Let me highlight that. Tyrone said, selfish to become selfless. I love that because that's the goal.
Mm-hmm.
That's the goal. You know, and again, you know, people are conditioned, Lily, like you said, people are conditioned, right? You saw your parents struggle. I'm talking to the chat. You saw your parents struggle. You saw your grandparents struggle, right? And anybody who's watching. And it becomes the norm. Struggle becomes normalcy. It's like, what you supposed to, you need somebody who's ride or die in your corner. Looks fade. Someone said in the chat, looks fade, right? Well, dick's getting hard, fade too. You're gonna stop fucking now because later on your dick is not gonna be able to get hard. So all these false arguments people have, right? Looks fade. Does it matter? Your dick's gonna fade too. You're still using it now, though, right? You're still operating as someone whose dick works, right? Or did you stop using it because one day it's gonna fade? It doesn't make sense. The logic doesn't make sense. Constantly seeing the struggle as normalcy. Struggle is not normal. No man should get married or be dating, okay, unless he can afford an entire family. I said it. You don't like it, too fucking bad. But what happens is men get with a woman because they think every time their dick gets hard, they got to put it somewhere. Then they get with a woman. Some kids come that they didn't fucking want because men like fucking. They don't like kids so much, okay? It's very rare that a man is fucking for the goal of children. The majority of men like fucking. Children, not so much. Child support, not so much. Picking up Junior every day, not so much, right? But the kids are here. This is what humans do. Let me take care of these children, right? And there's this constant push that struggle is normal, and it is not. So when you see a woman who's attractive like me, who works out 3 times a week, who cares what the fuck she looks like, okay? And you see her single, well, how's that? Something must be wrong. But this is how you should be before you couple up with someone else. You don't see the van coming and jump in front of it so it can run you over. Yeah, I can get with a guy. I can answer one of these text messages or phone calls, or even when I'm out at a lounge or something, I can engage a man. I can entertain him. Then I can start dating him. Then I can start fucking him. Now we're involved. Now I got to worry about what this motherfucker wants. Now, in my day of being busy, I have to return that text, because if I don't return that text that day, there's going to be an issue the next day. And I don't care what tax bracket he's in, how good looking he is. I cannot go 2-3 days without returning that text. Why would I put that burden on myself now when I'm very selfish, like the guy in the chat said, and I have goals? Why add that to it? And that is the problem with the majority of human beings, is that they have goals and dreams and aspirations. Then they throw in a suitcase a whole other body with emotions and feelings and their own desires and their own shit. And I'm not dragging anybody with me. I'm not doing it. I don't care if he contributes. I still have to worry about another human being. And I don't want to. Not now. Now, you guys have heard me say before, circle back about 5 years. Circle back in about 5 years, and then we'll reassess. But right now, the goal is me. The goal is my success. The goal is being selfish so I can be selfless, right? Because in 5 years, once I've reached my goals, now I have time to fucking return a text so you're not looking at me crazy tomorrow. Now I have time. But people don't think like that. They think no matter how down bad I am, I need to fuck something and have something in my bed. And that is why you have the problems that you have, but you won't admit it. That is why you have the burden right now of that wife that gets on your nerves, okay? Or the fucking kids that you didn't want, okay? Or your money is, you're not making enough money, right? Because now you got kids and a wife and a girlfriend and she wants shit. She wants to travel. She wants to go to dinners. That is why you are in the mess you are in now. Because you weren't thinking like me, because you weren't being selfish. That is why you have the problem you have right now. But you don't want to hear that, because why? And it's not even your fault. You saw your grandparents do it. You saw your parents do it, in sickness and in health, for rich, for poor, in good and bad. And you signed up for it. You signed up for it. It was like, wait a minute. I'm supposed to go through good and bad with somebody? I'm supposed to be rich and poor with somebody? Them vows fucked you in the ass. Why are you sitting there mad at me? Because I'm not going to do it. Because I refuse to do it.
I told you what the older women in my life, what they all had in common.
What?
The ones that lived like 85 on, they all had one thing in common. They've been single for a long time.
And here's my thing with marriage. You are seldom cut out for it. It's a handful of humans that are cut out for marriage, who are willing to do rich for poor, sickness and health, although I hate wedding vows. But there are very few far in between men and women who are built for the rich, poor, sickness and health. Very few and far in between. People have done it. I've seen them do it. But they ask them how much they've sacrificed.
Right, because we always quote the divorce rate in this country, but then we're still left with the other 50%, maybe 25%. Like, so how many of that percentage is happy? That's the real question.
Ask themselves how much they've sacrificed, how much they've compromised, how many times they've been fucking uncomfortable, but happy wife, happy life. How many times they had to go to recitals and parties and reunions and visit the in-laws and pick up the mother-in-law from the hospital, and they didn't want to fucking do that shit because they'd rather watch the game and scratch their balls on Sunday. I don't want that life. Y'all are welcome to it. Y'all are welcome to it.
We're like we're never just stopping from anybody. We're just sharing where we're at and how we got there. Right? So there's no right or wrong to this.
Really? No, I'm not going to burden myself with a relationship. Any woman could be in a relationship. The fat ones, the skinny ones, the tall ones, the short ones. Any woman could be in a relationship, because men are always looking for a struggle buddy. Somebody help me build. Men are easy. Y'all will fuck anything. Y'all will get with anything that's going to help y'all survive and help you build. Y'all are not hard to get. Any woman could be in a relationship.
Right. And I see a gentleman in the chat. He's saying that I guess he's in a wheelchair. And he was saying like disability issues. I think I shared on here before that my neighbor and friend lost his legs last June. Not last June, the June before that. So like a year and a half ago. Mm-hmm. Okay. Lost both legs, early 30s. Honey. He already done slapped a new pair of legs on and running through them. So there's women out here. He running through them. With no legs.
Look, what's the guy's name? The scientist. He was in a wheelchair his whole life. Stephen Hawking. Is it Stephen Hawking? Yeah. And I think he even cheated on his wife.
yeah, but he was the smartest guy on earth.
Yeah. I mean, Ray Charles cheated on his wife. These
That's
guys
arrogance.
Eyes. Wait a minute. Oh, wait, you're in a wheelchair? I didn't know you were in a wheelchair, darling.
Yeah, that's the one that said he was in a wheelchair, and I wanted to give him that hope like my, through my friend's experience, because I've been watching him. I was there right after he lost his legs up until today, and honey, he ain't got no problems.
Listen, I dated a guy with one leg.
Oh yeah, you talked about that.
There's somebody for everybody. I dated a guy. It was hilarious. So I have someone backstage by the name of Just Notice. You know how I say you got to cam up, right? He is backstage with a mask on his face.
He doesn't want to spread COVID.
It. This is
classic.
This is where it gets good.
He's COVID protocol. That's all. COVID protocol.
No, I don't mean a mask. I mean an entire mask over his face, like he's gonna rob a bank.
Oh my
God! I've got to see this. I've got to see this.
I want to hear more about the guy with the one leg. You don't just say that and then just go on to something else. Let's go back to that.
I was young. I was really young, Reese. What's up, Reese from Philly? I was really young.
This show could get crazy, but I'm gonna relax a little bit.
Okay.
Man, one leg. Think of the jokes that I got lined up for that. Come on now.
Yeah.
I heard them all. He told them himself.
Hey, you know what? I felt a lot of what you said because me and you share a lot. We have a lot in common because a lot of people are like trying to pressure me to get into a situation they have been for years and wondering why I won't. But if I got something in front of me that I'm trying to achieve, right? I know absolutely a woman will slow that down or possibly ruin it overnight. I've already had it happen to me like 2 or 3 times. So I'm not taking a risk. I'd rather just be horny and without, right? And work hard. And even if I don't make it, you know what I'm saying? I'm still okay. Even if I don't reach my goal, I stayed out of trouble. The bills got paid. You know what I mean? But I got a grand opportunity in front of me, and there's no way in the world. I think I told y'all earlier this year, man, I'm not touching a woman for at least 6 months. And that might be extended. I don't care. I could walk out this door right now. Never mind.
Listen, that's the thing, Reese. We all can. We all can.
Right.
We can all walk out the door and smash, you. I mean, but it's like we have to learn. And we're evolving. I think people are evolving. I think our youth is getting it. I think the next generation is getting it because they're all about their coin and their bag. They're all about their money. Their focus is money, right?
Much more so than the one before them.
Right. I always tell people that my generation dropped the ball in a lot of ways, but we're still young enough that we are able to catch it, and say, hold up. Yeah.
Nah, that was us.
Huh?
That was us, 50 and over.
Right, but we're still
we were the ones that dropped it.
Yeah, we did, but we're still young enough to learn the lesson and still got enough youthfulness in our life that we can turn it around and make it work for us. And
look, our problem is the people behind us wouldn't listen, even though they had to live an example right there in front of them. I had my failures right in front of people. Look, this is what happened to me. Look at me. This is not what you want to become. And this is what you have to do to prevent that. But nobody wanted to listen. They wanted to take it to another level. I'm not taking the rap for that. I'm not.
That's right. Now that I totally agree with.
Yeah. It's funny, right? This guy here, the JR, he slithers in here every now and then. So check this out, because this is the only time I'm going to address him tonight. I like him playing in the chat, but I'm going to address this real quick to put it out there for everybody watching and anyone else who feels this way, because a lot of dudes feel this way. He said, she isn't any different than the rest of the women that come to the space. I don't know what fucking space he's talking about. This is YouTube. Okay. She doesn't know what she's talking about. If she dated someone like me on a neutral platform, it wouldn't be pretty. So here's the thing, the JR, and any other man that feels this way that's watching me, right? The reason why you want me to go to your platform to debate you, right? First of all, you'd have to pay me to go over there because I don't fucking know you. Who gives a fuck about you? That's beside the point. The reason why you want me to debate you on your platform is because you know it's going to be a circle jerk. Mm-hmm. That's why. And because men like you need backup. You need backup. Okay? So here's what I will do for you. I will debate you on my platform and I'll shut down my chat and I won't have my panel and it'll just be me and you on my platform. Let me know when
I'll leave right now.
Listen, unlike you, I don't need backup, right? You men like you need backup. Okay, you've been begging for a long time, talking about I won't debate you on neutral ground. First of all, I don't even know what your fucking stance is. You guys really give yourselves too much credit. I don't fucking know you. You've never cammed up. You hide behind your avatar. I don't know anything about you, sir. You know about me. I've never been to your channel, and I mean never, ever been to your channel. You're a fan of On the Block with Jen. I've never been to your channel, sir. And you keep talking about this imaginary debate that's supposed to happen. I've offered you to come up on this panel. You don't do it. You want me to go to your panel because you need the backup of your chat. I don't need backup. You see the difference between you and I? I don't need the backup of my chat or my panel. I'll debate you on my shit, me and you by ourselves. Whatever this imaginary debate you have with me. But here's the only rule I have. You can't use any Kevin Samuels talking points, and you can't use any Andrew Tate talking points. So
now,
that shit.
you just, that's not fair, Jen. You already know everything that's going to come out their mouth is going to come from the book of Samuel.
There's no book of Samuels, man. It's a myth. It's mythology. Those talking points were in barbershops.
But the funny thing is that the man doesn't even know what the word neutral means. He doesn't understand plain English. Neutral means me and you and nobody else involved. What he's calling neutral is on his platform, okay, with all the other dicks that run in the chat who hate women. That's not neutral ground. I'll debate you on my panel any day, anytime with no chat, okay, and nobody else on the panel. Now, you're going to untuck your dick and your nuts to do that? Because I'll take you up here. I'll take you up here. Let me know in your next comment if you're going to come on my channel to debate me about whatever it is your beef is with me, because you're in my chat all the fucking time beating off to it. I don't know why. I do not know you, sir. I don't know what you look like, and I've never been to your channel. I don't even know what your theme or narrative is on your channel. And when I tell you I don't have a clue, I don't fucking have a clue. You motherfuckers run around on YouTube and think people know you. I don't fucking know you. I don't know what you look like. I don't know who you are. I don't even know what the fuck your channel is about. I don't know if you sell dildos over there. I don't know what the fuck you do. I don't know these people. But they are hell-bent on fucking beating off in my chat and wanting to debate me. Like, I don't understand. Neutral, I want to debate her on neutral ground. No, you want to debate me on your channel. You want me over there? Pay, bitch. I ain't going on none of your panels unless y'all motherfuckers pay me, bitch. Fuck you. Pay me. And then I'll go over there on your neutral ground with your circle jerk. Pay me, bitch, and I'll go to your channel. If not, shut the fuck up, enjoy the show, and keep arguing with people in the chat. But keep my name out your mouth because you scared to come up here. And I proved that over and over and over again. This nigga scared. You scared to come up here, and I proved that. I dropped the link over and over and over again. And just to prove my point, I'm going to drop it right now. You want to come up now? Or you want the deal I'm giving you where me and you could debate on my channel, but you can't use Kevin Samuels' talking points? Let me know. I give choices here. I'm such a fair person. I'll do it without my panel, and I'll shut down my chat, and it'll just be me and you up here with this debate you want to have with me. I'm fair.
Wow.
That would be interesting.
He won't do it. He won't do it. He wants neutral ground. He wants me to go on his panel, right, for free.
Well, neutral ground would be someone else's panel.
Thank
you will have control over the mute button and all that.
Thank you. But he wants neutral ground. He wants me to go to his panel. So his circle jerk and all the fucking losers, and I don't even know how many followers this motherfucker got. So all the scrubs in his chats could, co-sign him. No, motherfucker, let's do neutral for real.
Probably a bunch of AI bots.
But let's do neutral. I don't have a problem having a discussion with this clown, although I don't know what his stance is because I don't know his fucking channel.
What is the animal? What is the what's the animal next to his name?
It's a goat, I think, right?
Is that an elk or a caribou or something?
It should be a sheep because the way he follows around Kevin Samuels' dead body.
It's weird to me, but now that I have all these people watching right now, you heard me say it. You want to debate me, on neutral ground, that does not mean your channel with a bunch of dicks in there sucking you off every time you say something to me. And if you want to debate me, you cannot use Kevin Samuels' talking points. I'm not using.
He's not going to debate you after that.
I'm not going to use Cynthia G talking points.
So
you
the
can't
son
use
that is neutral.
Samuels talking points. I don't fucking get it.
I don't get it.
Hey, I know Sonnet. I can set you up on Sonnet as a channel for a debate.
Yeah, that's the debate league.
And I'd be down with it. Since this dude is so obsessed with my points of view, I'd be down with it. Let's do real neutral ground. But you want me on your channel, you're gonna have to pay me, bitch. What
My homie got a debate channel.
Like, what do you like? It's weird to me that this guy does this over and over and over and over again. I've never been to your channel. You come here. It's weird. These motherfuckers are weird. I dropped the fucking, anybody else would have came up here. I dropped the link again. He won't come up.
You know what's so funny? When I'm out and about, I'll see somebody and I'm like, he give me the type of guy to be up in the chat talking this shit.
I know. Don't you see a world like that now?
Right. I be like, you be up in people's chats talking big shit.
Right. And I just wanted to say that, not even to pick on this fool, because sometimes I feel like I'm picking on these clowns. Not even to pick on this fool, just for whoever else is watching. You have an issue with my talking points. You have choices. You could come up here with my panel and we could discuss, right? Because we've done it before with other people. You want me to go on your panel? You're going to pay me, whether you like it or not, or keep my fucking name out your mouth. Or we'll find another platform that's neutral, really neutral, not one of your boys that you sucked off before on a panel, okay? And we can have a debate. But this year is weird, dude. I just want to know that y'all look weird when y'all do this. Y'all look weird. Now, if you don't mind looking weird, está bien. But this is fucking weird. These are the children that Kevin Samuels birthed. Exhibit A. These are the children that Kevin Samuels birthed. This is what we're looking at. And you're wondering why women are saying, fuck y'all. Y'all ain't worth it.
Right. They going in on them.
It's
Somebody
said, weird. Look, and before we move on with tonight's topic, because tonight's topic is really good, is interesting. Before we move on with tonight's topic, anyone who can hear or see me, I want you to see I'm pressing the button right now, putting the link again. I just pressed the button. There goes. It says cam up for him to come up because he's hell-bent on debating me. I just dropped the link again. He could come up here, or he can pay me to go to his panel, or we could go somewhere neutral because he seems to be obsessed with my point of view because he's always in my chat. I've never been to that man's channel. I don't know what he talks about, I guarantee it's Kevin Samuels echoes. I guarantee, because they all do the same shit. They're not even original. They all do the same shit.
It's so crazy how they, like, you all just do not have a problem just sounding like every other incel out there. Like,
fucking weird. Here we go. Someone had the nutsack to come up. What say you, sir?
Hello.
Hi, how are you? What say you? What you gotta say? Enlighten us. Enlighten us. What you gotta say before I get into the topic?
Which one is this?
So what is the topic? I'm Nas.
This is Nazim Ali.
You said it right, Nazim. You got it. You know it.
Nazim Ali. Okay, let me move this. Let me remove this. Eso, I'm not. He said she's so gangster. I'm like, because you want to debate me. This sits in my chat, not you. This man said, Eso, I'm not even gangster. It's just common sense. If a little chihuahua kept nipping at your ankles, eventually you're gonna pick him up and say, "What's wrong, baby?"
You like chihuahuas? How many dogs you have?
None. Zero.
None. How many children do you have?
What does that matter?
I'm just asking. It don't matter. If it don't matter to you, it don't matter.
Right. You're up here for the topic, not to interview me. You want to interview me on the channel?
I did, respectfully. I asked you the topic from the beginning.
Okay. No. This isn't an interview agenda. I have a couple of interviews on my wall, but this is not interview agenda name.
I ain't trying to interview you. I'm looking at the panel.
Okay, cool.
I'm just being respectful to the panel. Hey, how you doing, sir?
Hey.
How you doing, ma'am? And everybody else is here.
What's up, man?
Yeah, he was asking what the
Ask
topic.
you again. So what's the actual topic? Because I'm trying to wonder why you so fired up.
Marriage. They say marriage people are miserable.
I'm not fired up. I'm responding to the clowns in the chat, but I'm not fired up. I don't know these people personally, so they can't get me fired up.
So the whole thing that Lala said that marriage people that's married are miserable.
Yeah, hold on a second though, okay? I want to acknowledge Tyrone Church. He said, hey, you can't knock him trying to get his Kevin Samuels on. And I don't knock him. Kevin Samuels did good. You know what I'm saying? But he's going to have to wear a nice suit, get his hairline sprayed in just right. You know what I mean? Get some candles in it. He needs ambiance.
Kevin Samuels, let him rest in peace. And it's not a fact that Kevin Samuels top talking points or whatever, but the truth is the truth and whatever. Nobody has to come with nothing but themselves.
Okay, so here's the thing. The truth is relative because your truth isn't my truth, right? Here's the thing. Watch this.
Do you have children?
Okay, wait a minute. Watch this. Don't worry about your children. Don't worry about mine. Worry about your children. So do you have
children?
So let me mute your mic. So here's my truth, and you're gonna sit there muted, or you're gonna get the fuck on. That's what happens on the block. So it's up to you. We can't hear you. You're muted. So everybody has truth, right? People say, well, Kevin Samuels was telling the truth. Well, here's the thing. Here's my truth. You're not attractive enough to date an attractive woman. That's my truth, right? Now, some girls would agree with me. They would look at you and say, Jen is telling the truth, right? That's my truth. So Jen has truth, and Kevin Samuels has truth, and you have truth. Everybody got a truth. They're like guns. Everybody got a gun. Everybody got truth. So you see how that works? So you can't say Kevin Samuels had truth. He had his truth, and he was able to resonate with people who don't do well in relationships. That's the truth. That's the truth. Now I'm going to unmute you and you can respond, but what you won't do on the block is talk over me. It's not how it works here. Okay? Now we're going to try this again. Ready? We're going to count to 3. Come with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. You go.
1, 2, 3.
What's your response? What's your response?
Again, as far as what? Kevin Samuels is dead. He's deceased. I don't speak on dead, people that's deceased. The truth is the truth regardless. And you saying stuff that you're trying to say is like somebody's truth to not the truth. We're going to talk in facts. It don't have to have somebody else's name attached to it. Like you can't say your truth is your truth and my truth is my truth.
Okay, so give me an example of a fact that you're talking about that's the truth to you.
Okay, so one fact of the matter, like I said, of her saying the truth is somebody is not attractive enough, but I'm fine with somebody saying that that's her truth, right? Right? They're saying that I'm not attractive or whatever. I'm just responding to what she just said, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to you.
I'm waiting for your point.
Right. She said that, correct?
Yes, that's what she said. I'm waiting for your point.
Okay. So in that point, it's like, that's not what people are actually, you talking about people saying marriage is irrelevant and people are married are miserable. No, that's not the case. The truth is, unless you just like on some random out here thought and don't want to be in love, don't want to have a relationship, then no, you choose to be single. Tell me who chooses to be single, like realistically. And it's multiple.
Have the option.
Me? Yeah, people with options.
Me? I've been single my whole life.
and that's your choice, I guess, right? Okay, but I'm not talking to you. You can chill. So I'm saying, realistically, everybody's truth. You can't say, because I can name a million people that's married, that's happily married, that's been married for 10,
that's
20,
true.
30, 40, 50 years. So you can't say that.
I know people like that.
Okay, I'm not talking to you again. And
right.
Back to what I was saying was, anybody that's a human being, whether you love the same sex, whether you love the opposite sex, it's human nature to be loved, to be in love, to have a relationship. Now, I'm not counting out whoever that wants to have free love and want to sleep with this person or be here or there or that, third, fourth, or the fifth. But realistically, who in their right mind is a human being that, quote unquote, that would want to say that being with somebody else, and whether the definition of marriage is by, legally and going to, no, being with somebody else in a committed relationship is miserable. Like, and you saying that's truthful and that's reality, because you, and you, if by whatever choice or whatever the case may be, would want to have attention, a relationship, love, a sexual relationship, from another person. Now, it's up to y'all to say if it's committed or this or long term, or if you
or
just
nothing,
somebody for the night,
or nothing,
right? But realistically, as a human being and every other human creation, whether it's a plant, animal, whatever, nothing exists singular.
Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4 besides you people,
right?
Humans up here,
right?
That all humans.
Now let's go into age. How old I'm 42 years old.
Thanks for volunteering.
You look good for your age, bro. Yo, you look good for your age, yo. I thought he was like 25.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Yo, I'm good.
How can you tell?
Yeah, you would get chicks in Philly. Philly chicks like dudes with hair. You'll get some chicks over here.
Yeah, I know what I do. I'm in Philadelphia. I'm here. Yeah, but like I said, so realistically, how many relationships, like who realistically, human-wise, you want to be single? Then you want to be single and you don't want to have any interactions or relationship with the opposite sex or the same sex for that matter. All right, let's
who are you talking to? Because you're off on a tangent.
Volunteer, loser, yo.
He said everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, so here. All right, so let us respond.
All right, let's go.
Okay. So what I said was earlier, and you don't have to listen to me. The truth is.
But the truth, you can't say the truth.
Okay, I'll mute your mic because you have a very difficult time understanding. You talk, I talk, you talk. I gave you the grace for you to go off. You're still talking while you're muted. And in a second, you're going to be off the panel. That's your choice, okay? And then you can go back to the chat.
No, don't do that.
No, I'm going to do that because I'm not going to talk over him and have him talk over me. So here's the thing. What I said before.
He'll figure out he's muted soon.
And the only reason I'm addressing this is because there are people not only with lack of reading comprehension, but comprehension in general. And he's probably not alone. There are probably other people in the chat that heard the same thing. What I said was that there are only a handful of people that can marry and marry well. Just a handful. The divorce rate is 50% and growing. Marriage is on the decline. Okay, marriage is on the decline. Women file for divorce 75 to 80% of the time. So that means even those women that were hell-bent on getting married, wanted to get married so bad and throw on their white dress, 75 to 80% of them said, I'm out. I don't want to be married to you. I don't want to be married, and file for divorce. 75 to 80% of the time, women are saying they are done. Okay? Very far few in between are people built for marriage and can sustain a marriage. That is what I said. The majority of people are not meant for monogamy, let alone partnership. That is what I said.
42? This is scary. I just got finished talking about my generation. Now I was hoping somebody come up here and prove me wrong. But damn.
So
he's a good guest, yo. He's a good guest.
No, he's not. These people have become. I don't have that type of channel, Reese.
He's not causing a whole lot of problems.
He'd be great on those channels where people like to yell and argue and scream at each other and people start viewing. I don't have that channel. I'd rather have fucking 20 people in here.
I love how he's having a whole show alone. All
by himself.
All right. I want to sort of.
There's talent there. There's talent there.
He said there's talent.
Listen, I'm married. And
that guy's talented. Look at him.
after, I've mentioned many times that, who knows what's going to happen in the next 5 years once my kids get grown, and I think he's right. He's still talking. It's funny. I think the thing that he's trying to key into is that people are social creatures. Yeah, we are social creatures, but that doesn't mean that you can't socialize and be loved and still not be in a relationship with somebody. And a lot of people want to equate sex a lot when they come up and the first thing they say is you don't want to be. Listen, you can separate sex and love. You can. It's people do it all the time. So Jen, for instance, can go out there and satisfy her needs and yet still have a career. And when she chooses, and yet still have relationships, like she can meet up with somebody and have a relationship. You don't have to be married. You don't have to. That's the thing we're talking about. You don't have to be married, because let me tell you something. Marriage, as some of us know, is not easy. And what we were talking about earlier, yes, there is sacrifices. Luckily, I lived a little bit before I got married and had kids, and I traveled a lot. But don't think I don't look at the women who I went to high school with, who now their kids are not there anymore, and they're doing all that. And I'm like, damn, man, I miss being able to do that. Not that I'm sad that everybody wants to say it's true. I love my kids. That's not the thing, but it is a sacrifice. I don't get to do everything I want to do. And sure, when my kids get older, yeah, I think I look forward to being selfish, of course.
You know what's so funny, when you said that, it just reminded me how many times my married friends tell me they envy my life.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about the ones that are married with children.
Listen, I told you, I wasn't joking.
I get that too.
I have a friend
Nazim's having a meltdown.
I have a friend that was in the radio industry. I met him when I was like 18 or 19. He's about 10 years older than me. And later on, we'd go to Saints games together and everything, and with a bunch of people. And I don't know, probably 2 or 3 years. I was so naive. I was talking to, I don't know if it was his ex-boyfriend. We're at a bar. I said, you know what? I said, I think Michael's gay. And he's like, well, I hope he is. And I'm like, I'm cool. I was drunk. I'm cool with it and everything. But anyway, I've known this guy since I was 18 or 19 years old. And he does everything that I want to do. He's got season tickets. He travels around. I'm like, damn, man. There's a price. There's a price to be paid with.
He was also wrong talking about even animals. Most animals are fucking single. There are animals that mate and then never see the fucking other animal again. There are animals that just mate to procreate. Matter of fact, it's rare that animals mate for life. That's not how. That's not.
There's hardly any animals that stay together. What? Whales
Penguins.
And birds? A few.
Penguins.
Yeah,
Birds haul last.
Yeah.
Most of them just mate.
I'm not sure about dolphins.
So I'm gonna
giraffes
play.
Stay together. Elephants.
Penguins.
We took a long way, but let's get into the topic tonight.
He's still talking. He's having his own show.
Hold on. Let me see. Nazim has something to say.
Invite yourself with opposite sex. Duh.
Right.
Opposite sex. No matter what. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
let
me play this video.
This is crazy.
I love it.
It's crazy because you got a broke wrist firefighter volunteer up there.
I'm not a volunteer.
All right. And you're gone.
No.
What was the first thing he said?
He was going in on us.
Right. He was trying to read. I'm like, okay, good luck.
He was lining us all up.
Get your ass back in that chat, boy. He goes back to the chat.
You want to hear a funny story, Jen? I tried living with a woman one time, right?
Yikes.
So I was in trouble with the law in the 90s. And I had an ankle bracelet on. Me and my dad got in an argument, so I hauled ass went to go stay with my girlfriend. Long story short, 3 days later, after she, put her foot down and displayed her power or whatever, I got so fed up with that shit. I cut the ankle bracelet off, swear to you. Went down to the federal building, knocked on the door, and told the FBI, take me to jail right now.
Damn,
that happened on this earth. That happened on this earth.
All right.
I knew that I could get a hearing, right? And I knew I had a couple dollars so I could just go rent something somewhere, have somewhere to live. But I know that if I leave, I have to go to jail. So the best thing for me to do is to go down there and turn myself in, right with the bracelet and everything. You know what I mean? And they did exactly what I just said. They gave me a hearing like 4 days later. So I made a phone call. Somebody took some money somewhere, got me a spot, and it was over just like that. 3 days I lasted. 3 days. Out of 53 years, that's how many days I spent living with a woman.
Okay. See, Reese, that's why you look young. You're healthy. You still got your 6-pack. That is why.
Probably,
Right.
maybe, yeah. Because listen, I went to high school with guys that had superstar bodies, and those dudes now. Remember, I'm 53. Man, listen, some of these guys got hairlines back to here, no grill, breasts, everything.
I know they're all in my chat, but let's move on. Thank you,
Oh
Don
my
Levant. Don Levant says, watching Nazim was like looking into a window at an insane asylum. Yeah, he was going off.
He
Like,
was.
Wow.
That was the
I'm
best.
trying to-
That was the
I'm
best.
wondering if I heard. I got to look back at that. Did he? I know he said volunteer. Did he say broke? Is that what he said?
who gives a damn? And then look, we got Just Noticed. Should we leave him up here covering his face like that? I don't think so.
Yeah, hell
Oh,
yeah.
The face is covered to protect the innocent. But peace to the panel and peace to you, Jen.
Peace. You're innocent.
100%.
We're not.
Okay. What do you have to say? And I'm making an exception really quickly because the panel said leave you up. What do you have to say? I'm making an exception, but we do faces here. Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to say that everybody's got their own, way that they want to navigate through life, and yes, a lot of us have options now because of social media. Way that they want to navigate.
There's an echo.
Oh, he's muted.
He's muted now.
He got the nerve to come up here with a sock on his face and have technical difficulties.
Those audio problems happen when they move around. That's when the audio happens. When the audio problems happen, try to just sit still.
Go ahead. Reese. Okay, go ahead. Just Notice. Go ahead. What you got to say?
Yeah. So what I was saying was basically sometimes we take too much of advantage of this life, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody's got goals, everybody's got things that they want to accomplish, but life can hit you so quickly and change everything, right? The dynamics of things. So, sometimes we take things for granted, you know what I'm saying? And it can really, life could really change in an instance. Like we see Jen, and Jen is such a gorgeous woman, right?
Oh,
and she has, I have no question that she has a lot of options, but God forbid, you know what I'm saying? She walks out the door and someone, hits her, I don't know, with a car or something, and now her life changes, right? So maybe her options after that is not the same.
Well, my options would be at physical therapy and other guys in wheelchairs, and I know two that are hot right now. I interviewed them. That's will change, of course, but that goes without saying. Any one of us could walk out and get hit by a damn truck. Any one of us. It doesn't mean because of something that may happen, I should change my life now because I may get hit by a truck. Well, there's guys in wheelchairs that are fine, that are interesting, right? My physical therapist who's going to help me walk or work my wheelchair, I may end up with him. Like, I don't view life from, I'm not pessimistic. I'm not like, well, damn, let me do this because this may go wrong, or looks fade, or what if I didn't have this face, or What if I didn't have this six pack? I don't live my life like that. I live like everything is possible. And when things go wrong, now I have to go around it and go another way. And that is how people should live. You should never make a decision because one day something might happen. And that's actually the point you make, because that's usually how people get married. They get married out of fear. I don't want to be alone. I may not have enough money. I'm gonna get fat one day. Looks fade. I'm gonna need somebody to struggle with. What if something goes wrong? I need to partner with somebody. You should never make a decision that is fear-based. And I don't live my life fear-based. Of course, anything can happen. I could walk outside and the world could end tomorrow for everybody. Somebody could press a nuclear bomb button and we're all gone. But I don't live my life like that. And I refuse. I cannot relate to it. People that talk like that don't resonate with me. You're entitled to think whatever you want. If you want to marry someone, I don't mean you specifically because I don't know your desires, just notice. But if somebody wants to get married because they're scared of being alone and nobody's going to be around to wipe their ass at age 80, go ahead and do it. Good luck with that life. Good luck. I'm going to try other options.
And
No,
then you can use that same logic and say, okay, something can go wrong or I can die or whatever. Why don't I be happy as opposed to try to live my life according to society's standards that may not apply to me, right? So that same logic can be used, but like Jen says, I don't like to live my life out of fear. Like I like to turn those things around and say, well, out of fear, instead of fear, I choose love instead of, like that's not a good way, because that's why we got here now. A lot of emotional blackmail and fear-based stuff over years, just fear-based conditioning. I mean, just once you log off of here, turn on the television, watch a few commercials, and you'll see how everything pushes us towards, if you don't have this, you ain't shit. If you're not partnered up, you ain't shit. If you don't make this much, you ain't shit. Like, it's so many things that's telling us that we're not shit when we already are the shit, right? So that's not a good logic to live by, honestly. And I think a lot of this too comes from age and experience, because I think people fail to realize that how people, get to a certain opinion or view in their life is coming from the sum total of their personal experience, as well as watching the experiences of the people around them as well. And that's not, for me, that's never up for debate, because I'm not going to debate anyone else's choices. If someone says, hey, I decided that I don't want to be married anymore and I want 16 spouses, or 16 girlfriends. Okay. Does nothing for me.
There are like double the people watching and half the likes. Hello, people. Take your little finger from me, lick it, and hit that like button, okay? The like button likes it wet. So lick your finger and hit the like button for me, right? Because there are double people watching and half the likes. I do want to say this, right? I'm anti-marriage. That's just my thing for my life. Anti-marriage for my life. And I think when married people hear that, and this is just general, not to anybody specific, I think when married people hear that, they think that I am against their marriage, right? And they have to prove that marriage is, that's not what's happening here. I'm anti-marriage for me, for Jen, right? If you found somebody that you're happy with and you don't mind struggling with or loving with or being happy with, more power to you. However, it seems like people get disturbed by the thought because they want to feel that they did the right thing. And if you did the right thing for you, then great, more power to you. But statistics are statistics, and they were around before I got a YouTube channel. 50% of the people that marry divorce. 75% of women file for that divorce. So it is women that are saying goodbye to marriages before men are. And all I'm saying is that is how you should gamble. If you're going to gamble, because life is a gamble, if you're going to gamble, shouldn't you gamble with the odds in your favor? Shouldn't you gamble with the odds in your favor? If you had $1 million and somebody said, bet this, you might lose half. You're not going to put that $1 million on the table. And that's how you should look at your life. Why get tied up and get married for all the wrong reasons? What are the wrong reasons, Jen? Society is telling you to do it. Your mother wants grandbabies. This woman is pressuring you because her eggs are about to dry up and she got to have a baby. And y'all been dating for 3 years and her girlfriends are married and her sisters are married. So what are you doing, John? When are we getting married? Because she wants the white dress and the big party. That you have to realize most of you are getting married for the wrong reasons. And that's what I am talking about. You get married to get divorced, to pay child support, to pay alimony, to be fucking miserable. Okay. Now the new girl you're dating, who's better than your ex, now she's mad because you're paying all this child support to this other fucking woman you're not with. You can't go on vacation with her. You see the truck coming and you jump in front of it. And all I'm saying is think before you throw a ring on somebody. Especially men, because y'all get the short end of the stick. Women leave 75% of the time. Women leave you, not the other way around. Thank you for the super chat. I get some podcasts. What's up, Damien? Damien says, you can end up looking like a super villain to say that. Man, I thought you was about to ask for ransom. I got your wife, no saint, and I need $10 million.
That's funny.
You see me, Dame. I'm making the exception. Dame, you coming up? MRM, I threw the StreamYard link down for you. If you want to come up, I know you say you wanted to come up. What's up, Sherelle? Hey, mama. I'll pass the mic.
Don't all speak at once.
I'll take it back.
I'm about to say, because, like, you know.
Well,
Lily, it's your turn.
It's mine?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? Are we ready to touch on Lala? You want to go on to Lala and play the video?
Let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. So the topic for tonight, we went the long way, but here we are. Okay. The topic for tonight is, are most married people miserable? Are most married people miserable? Here's a clip that's gone viral. Lala Anthony's talking about marriage. And I have my theory as to why she thinks like this, especially. I said theory. I don't know her. I didn't ask her. This is my theory. Okay. So watch the video. I'm going to play the video for you, and then we could dissect it. Get the video. Damien said he'll be back later. All right, Dame. Here is the video. This is what Lala got to say about. And there's a lot. This is layered for many reasons.
I don't hear people who aren't married saying, like, I want to get married. You just start hearing it less and less. Like, before that was a goal. Like, before social media and just the way people interact now. I'm not in conversations with people who are talking about, like, I can't wait to meet someone and get married. Now, people say, yeah, I want to meet somebody, be in a relationship, you know, have this bond, but I don't need the marriage piece to feel like it's successful. And most, I'm not saying all, be careful with my words, most married people that I know are miserable and not happy and don't want to be married. They would prefer to be single. And what's happening is people look at the stats and they say, oh, well, divorce rates are going down. But the issue is less people are getting married. People don't want to get married.
Now, Lala, the first thing people are going to think is, Lala be in a lot of weddings.
That is true.
They're going to start looking at all the weddings you've been in over the last few years. They're going to look at your friend circle that's married, and they're going to be like, is Lala saying that they all miserable?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm because you're just talking about I'm saying in
general.
general.
Okay,
in general.
Well, let's
general. I don't talk to people in general who are just like, marriage, yeah, love my marriage. Yeah, it's just not what you hear. Man. You guys are a small minority. And what I'm saying is people who are not married, hear me out, I don't hear them talking as marriage, looking at marriage as a goal.
Damn, Lala choosing violence against married people this morning.
Looking at marriage as a goal, but the reason I want to talk about it because I want to get a better understanding of why. And also people are starting to feel like marriage is really just a business agreement between two people. It's like, I don't need that. I'd rather meet somebody, you know, have love, have loyalty, but I don't need the marriage.
Well.
What did I say yesterday?
That was Lala's take. I've said that many months ago. Also, two things with Lala that raises an eyebrow is her entire network, her circle of friends, they all have money. They're all married, right? These people are, successful, wealthy, or whatever. So is she talking about, watch your phones, guys, getting texts and stuff like that? It's really loud. Is she talking about her circle of friends, right? We all know who her friends are, right? Is she talking about her friends being miserable? Who is she talking about, right? Second, here's my theory. More looks, more options. It changes your perspective, okay? This is why I did this thumbnail. And someone had mentioned it in the chat that Lala didn't always look the way she looks. Did Lala have a different view and less options when she looked like this, okay? Let me take the banner down so you guys can see it clearly. That's Lala in the white bikini. That's how she used to look, right? With the blonde hair, that's how she used to look. In the pink is how Lala looks now, okay? In the black top, that's how Lala looks now, okay? This is her after the BBL. The white bikini is how she used to look, and that's her old face in the white bikini. This is her new face in the black top. That's her new body in the pink outfit. So it begs the question, is she on the other side now? On the side where more looks, more options, and marriage doesn't seem like a big deal, like for people that are on a lower level. And I told you there are levels, so people cringe when they hear it. They want to feel like they're equal to everybody that's beautiful and everybody that's wealthy, but there are different levels. Everybody's on a different level and in a different lane. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, social media made you think that you are equal to everybody that's out there, and you are not. You are just not. That is the reality of it. So when we look at the old Lala and the new Lala and how she views marriage, does her looks, is that a factor? Are there more people checking for her now because she got a big old fat ass and a tiny little waist and a different face? Does that change your perspective? Is it proof that when you're on the lower level, you view marriage and coupling with somebody differently than when your options open up? Is that another factor? Are people settling in marriage because there are not a lot of options out there for them? So they just hold on to the first struggle buddy that they find. But if they look like Lala after picture, would they still feel the same way? We're seeing this a lot with the Instagram models and the side chicks. These women don't want to get married. They just want to fuck the athlete or the actor, get the baby, and get the money, right? Meanwhile, the wife is like, but I'm the wife. I'm his wife. I got the ring. I'm like, yeah, but that woman now has access to your husband's resources without having to deal with your husband. What do you think about that?
I think we have to have perspective. I think that happened. I mean, yeah, you're right. You're gonna have more options when you upgrade, and Lala clearly upgraded. But at the same time, we gotta keep in mind that she is had these enhancements because she's trying to compete with a new market at an older age. When she had that old body, she was much younger, and she had to look like something because she got Carmelo, and I believe they were married. But I'm not 100% sure. I got to do research on that.
They were married.
But okay, so they were
got
married.
His last name.
Right. Right. Okay. Yeah. Right. So, marriage isn't for everybody. I could agree to that. But let's put it also in perspective this too. Marriage now is not as strong as it was before because you do have more options due to social media, which Lala actually spoke on in that interview. However, back in the days in the 50s and 60s, everybody was married, and there was a certain order. Now, we're in a different age. Women are empowered. They are at the front lines. So I mean, I make great money for what I do, but it's nothing like but an OnlyFans model make or IG model or any of these people. You know what I'm saying? So it puts you in a different bracket. However, with certain type of men, some of that stuff works for them, and some of it don't. If you're a rich man and you getting all these IG models, no, you don't want to settle with them. You know what I'm saying? No, from their perspective, it's a play thing. You know what I'm saying? Who they will marry, it will be more so like a business. You know, somebody who is a Fortune 500 woman who has her own business and could possibly tend to the man if everything's being ran by her company, and she just comes in to make the executive decisions. But the reality is that because we have these options. Sometimes like I said earlier, we take certain things for granted. It has nothing to do with fear, because I totally live fearlessly. I'm not married, and I like being single because I do like that freedom. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I do understand the importance of a relationship. I do understand the importance of love. And I do understand that everybody needs somebody. You know what I'm saying? For certain people, who have kids and stuff, like I was saying, my other example earlier, God forbid something ever happened to any of us, stuff that scar our face, or we have a deformity or whatnot, it changes those dynamics, right? Because we no longer have the same options like we had before. Or in case of Lala, who had these enhancements, you know what I'm saying? Now you no longer have those options. Who's going to take care of you then? If you maybe a mom, maybe a dad, maybe a friend you have, but it's still never the same, as if someone who actually cares and loves you. You know what I'm saying? Because in this world, we know that ain't nobody gonna do you better than yourself, right? Like Jen said earlier, she's very selfish, but in a good way. And that's a great thing. A lot of people should be a little more selfish. We just can't get caught up, with this wave of social media where now we feel everybody's expendable, everything is expendable, and then we have a bunch of people who are not even seeing eye to eye with one another, and then our populations is decreasing, like in Japan and Italy and other places. So everybody has their own views. Everybody has their own preferences and how they want to operate. But most people don't want the marriage because of the options, because of social media. But it's causing more harm than it is actually doing good. If you can follow where I'm going with this.
Okay, hit that like and subscribe for me, people. Yeah, y'all are hella lurking, but y'all hella cheap with the likes. Hit that like for me. Gracias. Passing the mic.
Hey, Jen, I want to say something, right? So
Yeah, Reese.
I've been a barber and a bartender my whole life, right? There are no two careers in the world where you're going to learn more about humans, period. Not even doctors or mailmen or none of that. The barber and the bartender. And with a half a century of this experience of talking everybody, I've even had to talk dudes down from deleting their significant other. I would have to say it's more than split down the middle. I have to agree with Lala that most people are dealing with some level of misery. You know what I mean? And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the repetition. It seems like it's repetition that bothers most people. It's the same shit over and over again. You know what I mean? And there's something certain. There's certain thing about the other person that aggravates them, and they just won't stop. And then there's a break and a divide, and it never gets mended. Because when you're behind the bar or cutting somebody's hair, you're also like a psychologist, whether you want to be or not. They dump your problems on you all day long, 7 days a week, year after year after. So this is your profession. You know what I'm saying? To have people spill their problem. And I'm telling you, it is dark and ugly out here. That is why I stayed away from marriage, from listening to when you hear that kind of stuff over and over and over again, the stuff that the bus driver doesn't even hear. You know, wherever you work, I don't even care where. You might hear a little bit of it, but to hear it over and over and over again, decade after decade, you know that something's wrong. So why take that risk? I'm not afraid of being married. I've been in a relationship before for like a year and a half. It went smoothly. It was perfect to me. You know what I mean? I don't see why everybody's having so many problems, but they are. And that gave me fear. I'm too old, right? And I'm not durable enough for a lot of this madness that other people are going through. You see what I'm saying? And also,
another thing I see, let me just jump in here, Reese. Another thing I see too, I love somebody said that, microaggressions and shit like that, because, you know, when you're curious about stuff when you're young, right? When you're younger than we are right now, you talk to married people all the time, right? I have relatives, I'm like, are you, and I ask people like, you still love such and such, or you know, I've heard everything from, yeah, kind of like in like the way you would love a brother. Or I'll ask a couple that's been together for decades, like, what's the magic, girl? If I get into what I had to put it, I'm like, ooh, like it all comes from a very pessimistic, tolerating, right? Tolerance, compromise. It sounds like it takes a lot from your life. And that's how I saw it. Somebody else may be like, no, but it's good to have somebody to compromise with and tolerate. You like it, I love it. I'm saying for me, we're not here forever, right? We are not here forever. We don't know how long we're going to be here. And I refuse to sacrifice a moment when I've already sacrificed enough, right? Compromising with people and putting other people before me. I don't have another fucking eon of a fucking second to dedicate to rolling my eyes when someone asks me how I'm doing in my relationship, to saying, yeah, we love each other like siblings at this point. You know, we just put up with each other. What, you know, you ask people, what's the magic that's kept y'all together? Very rarely do you hear, because we love each other unconditionally. This shit is amazing. Hello. That's why we're here 50 years. It's always like, girl, let me tell you, it wasn't easy. You know, but I don't know. That's not how I want to describe anything. I even quit corporate America because I didn't like, girl, 9 to 5. I got to get on the subway in New York City, deal with those people. But, you know, but I get paid really well. Like, I don't want anything in my life to be described that way. I don't care what it is, whether it's what I do for a living or relationship. And another thing is, before I pass the mic, we've been conditioned to think that love, happiness only comes from a relationship with the opposite sex that's romantic. That is false. You have relatives, you have friends, you have strangers that you meet in parks and in museums and in restaurants and at lounges and at the bar. There's so many other ways to get life fulfillment. Your bucket list, traveling, learning to play a fucking instrument, learning a different language. Like, there's a whole life out there. But people think for some reason that bliss is finding that significant other, finding that soulmate and locking in with them. And I think it's the opposite, because you concentrate on that and you focus on that. And then guess what? You can't take those trips. You can't meet strangers at the bar unless you're going to cheat. And then that fucks up your marriage. You can't learn another language because now you have to deal with the kids and you don't have time for yourself. And then comes the midlife crisis. And then your wife is looking at you funny, like, you ain't never wanted a motorcycle before. What's going on? Like, there's a lot that comes with marriage that entails a lot of sacrifice and compromise. Married people, I'm talking to y'all right now, married people. Y'all make it look unattractive. Me. Y'all make it look unattractive.
Hey, Jen, we get out of here, man. I gotta get out of here.
Okay.
I gotta leave. But I'm gonna tell y'all, look, any misery that you might go through being single, it will be well worth it, you know, to save your sanity and peace of mind and your freedom. I'm telling you, put it on the scale and you tell me what weighs more. All right, I'm out of here, y'all.
Bye, Reese. See you next time.
Wow.
So we're just discussing this. And if you're married, if you're listening to me, you're in the chat, you're lurking or whatever, please hit them likes for me. But if you're married and you want to come up and tell us how amazing marriage is and why you did it, you can't be married 2-3 years either. Because you can
That's
get
what I was about to say. Yeah. I need 10 years or more.
Yeah, 10 years or more. That's all I'm saying. That's how I'm looking at it. And also from my experience of being in relationships, it's a lot. It's not easy to compromise with someone and constantly think about their feelings, even if they're a good guy. I've been in relationships with good men, okay?
Right.
Men that made good money, but still, I have to consider them for everything, because that is what a partnership is. They're your partner. You're no longer alone. Dinner, partner. What movie are you going to watch? Partner. How many times are we going to have sex? Partner. What are we doing with these kids? Partner. What time of day is it? Partner. Vacations, partner. Birthdays, partner. Everything is now you and that person, and you have to consider them, or it will lead to the demise of your marriage or your relationship. You have to consider them. You must. You must. And I've been there and done that. And the other side is more enjoyable for me. It's more peaceful for me. It's freer for me. For me. But people are codependent. They need that other person there, and that other person that needs them, and they need. I don't have that fear, and I don't have that need, right? So like Lala said, I'm just trying to understand this marriage thing, because most of you are miserable. When you're not miserable, you're cheating, right? When you're not cheating, you're at the bar or at the barbershop, like Reese said, complaining about your wife, or you're at the hair salon complaining about what your husband did now. I just don't, I see more cons than pros. Now, of course, there are pros to marriage. You got somebody to Netflix and chill with. You got dick and pussy on tap in the crib. You don't have to go to the bar to find it. It's upstairs, or it's in the living room, or it's washing its ass in the shower. Of course, there are perks to being married. Of course, you get to go to, I don't know, the in-laws parties, and you get to go to the picnic and the family reunions, and you have somebody there for you. And if they don't, if you don't, you know, if they don't die before you, they may wipe your ass when you're 80, although they may be 80 and they may not even be able to turn your body. If you've ever cleaned an elderly person, I have, it takes more than 2 people. Okay. Sometimes definitely more than 1. So maybe you will go to 85 and your 86-year-old husband may be able to tackle flipping you over to wipe your ass. I don't know. But if those are the reasons to get married, like, I'm cool on that. If those are the reasons to get married, I'm cool on that. I've experienced having a child. I've experienced, you know what I mean, partnership. It just, it's more attractive on this side. It's freer. It's, you know, but again, you guys can rebut. You guys can tell me why marriage is the most beautiful place to be. You can let me know. No thing. Are you happy that you're going to get your ass wiped at 85?
This is what's hilarious to me. When you said that, I just thought about it. I was like, that's what you're looking forward to? I'm getting married, so somebody's going to wipe my butt when I'm 85.
I mean, that sounds like the biggest perk that they've been given. It's like, who's going to love you and wipe your ass?
This is the thing. First of all, like someone in the chat, I think it was, what's his name? That he put in there that there's no guarantee somebody's going to be there for you. So what you need to do is you need to make sure you have options and take care of yourself, build relationships. Like for me, for instance, if I'm alone for whatever reason in the future and I am in, you know, I'm in need of care, you can either rely on your children, which I wouldn't suggest putting that burden on them because it's not fair. Personally, I set myself up by decisions I made where I can go to a VA home. I'm a veteran. I can get VA medical help. I don't want that. Hopefully I just die in my sleep. But the other thing is you even if the marriage doesn't, I know Jen's different. She says she can't handle these kind of things. I've spent my life building relationships with people. And if in 15 years I'm not married, I have no doubt that the person I'm with right now, if I need her help, will be there because that's the kind of relationship we have, you know? So what you say is it's interesting. And yeah, it's, I mean, listen, you make decisions. We all make decisions. We make decisions. And I don't want to say I regret anything because there's a lot of great things, but everything you're saying is so true. It's a long sacrifice especially when you have kids. And you can get jealous with people putting things on Instagram and you see everybody and it's like, well, you know, I mean, I can do that once in a while, or if you're gonna see, it's really, before we had kids, it was really easy for me to get that money up and go travel. Hey, let's go here. Let's go to Colombia. Let's go. And then all of a sudden, one kid came. Okay, we can still. Two kids came. Okay, let's put away some. Three kids came. Now it's to the point where it's like, hey, we'll send one, like, you know, we'll send one down there by themselves or something like that, you know, because plane tickets are expensive. And but yeah, it's a long sacrifice, and it isn't, you know, that's my whole thing is, if you're banking your whole relationship on going out, living life, and, you know, going out and at 85, 90 years old with the same person, that's really rare. And it's, you know, that shouldn't be what you're looking at, is what I'm saying. In a marriage, you should be sort of living. I'm not saying don't plan for the future, but kind of live in the moment, because those moments change. You change, she changes, sex drive changes, personalities, you know, money changes, all those things change. And then the surprises in life that can put a, like, maybe you have to take care of a parent, you know, it's a lot of stuff goes into it, and it's much easier being single, much easier.
But I think, not to cut your wisdom,
No,
but that's why, but that's why we got to go back to, if marriage is for you, marriage is not, you know, for everybody, but that's why we got to go back to, you know, being with someone that's of like mind, being somebody, you know, that's your friend first, right?
But
someone that you can enjoy.
That sounds good, but did you hear what No Saint just said? All of those things will change. Whatever bonded you on day one and maybe up until the altar is subject for revision, right? Because anything from age to hormonal change to children to money to death and birth, like all these things can change one or both of those people, and more times than not, the change is not at the same time, on the same pace. And that's where it gets real tricky. Now, all like 5 years in, are we of like minds? Because I know I'm not who I was 5 years ago at all.
Right. Well, okay, so let me talk to that point, right? Yeah, people change, right? Yes, we have our likes and dislikes, and they can be interchangeable, right? But the reality here is too, though, right? We understand, and most people need to understand, that marriage is work, right? You got to work on your relationship, especially when in marriage, because you're with that person. You took an oath to you know, keep this person around for better or worse, right? Unless you decide, obviously, to get divorced. But the thing is, we got kind of too comfortable. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to. We live in a society that everything is microwaved and everything is about self gratification, and that's cool to a certain extent. But, you know, at some point, we all going to need companionship, right? We're not animals. We're different. We have reason. We have intelligence. We have rationale. We're a little bit different. At some point, yeah, once you go through some different life changes, you may not feel the need to have certain things or certain people around you, right? So I'm listening even to Jen's conversation. You know, she went through some things, right? And that's, you know, her going through life, right? And that changed her. So now it's like, listen, I had kids, went through those relationships and whatnot. I'm good, you know what I'm saying? And that's cool, you know what I mean? But my whole thing is that, and I'm sorry, what's
No Saint.
the other
No
brother?
Saint. Yeah, No Saint.
No Saint.
No Say. So what No Say was saying, right? He said, man, I'll be watching that stuff and like I'll be doing my thing, but then I'll go on social media and, man, I'll be jealous because this one's doing this and this one's doing that. And right now, social media has got us drunk got us drunk in this spell where everything is like we getting the carrot dangled in front of us, and now it's like, oh man, I'm missing out. I'm missing out on this and missing out on that, right? But if you didn't have any social media and you were living your happy married life, you were not even thinking about all this other stuff. Now it's cool to like travel and do all these amazing things, because because you get to learn about different cultures and people, and
Yeah.
that's cool. That's absolutely cool, right? But I got people that's like in their 20s and 30s and stuff. They want to travel, they want to do all these things, but then they're living beyond their means. And then at the same time, you have all these options, and you might have got that BBL and that boob job. You got your lips done. You feel like $1,000,000. But after a certain amount of time, all that traveling and running around too, sometimes that gets old. You know what I'm saying? And then you turn around and you realize, hey, I'm 60 something years old. I could barely like walk on my own. I need a cane, and I ain't got nobody to really, help me. Now, yes, it's good if you got companions, or people that are in your life that can help you. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is too is that you really don't know who's with you until you get sick. Until you can't really take care of yourself. Then you got some the true test of who's going to really be around for you. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say even with marriage or any relationship, it should always start out with a friendship. You should be able to enjoy the person's company. Most of these relationships that we're in, a lot of us, especially if you're younger, is based upon looks. You know what I'm saying? There's not a really deep connection anymore. We don't. The first date isn't on at a coffee shop where you get to talk and see who the person you're dealing with. Most people, it's oh, we're going to Miami for the weekend, or we're going at this super expensive restaurant that we're gonna bring these gifts. But it's the look. It looks good, but there's not a whole lot of depth. It's very shallow. So I'm just, I'm not against marriage, and I'm not against people who don't want to get married or any of that. Do what you feel works for you, but at the same time, I could recognize a bigger problem in the microcosm of things, is that we're all being kind of misled by social media to think that this is the reality that we should be all doing, and then at the same time, the population is dropping out in a lot of places. A lot of people are not meeting the right kind of people. You know what I'm saying? You're alike, someone who's of like mind, someone you enjoy being around, and then
So
you get married based upon
let me
looks.
let me jump in here. I think we've said, like Lily said in the chat, we've said a million times, to each their own, right? There's just a conversation we're having because Lala said what she said and it went viral. And now a lot of people coming forward and saying, like a young lady just said in the chat, I'm 25, I'm thinking about not having children, my family's pressuring me. A lot of the younger generation, people in their 20s, is saying, I don't think I want children. I want to do X, Y, and Z. People are evolving. And the people that are older are having a very hellified time accepting that these kids are making money differently. They're looking at relationships differently. They don't have a fear of someone wiping their ass at 85. They don't care. They want to travel. What we see as empty and unfulfilling is they're living the best time of their lives. We may look at them and be like, oh my God, that's not going to last long. That BBL, them injected lips, that wig, that's not life at all. Meanwhile, these people are living their best lives. So it's like two different generations, two mindsets, and one of them doesn't really relate or care very much about the other. I'm all about evolving and accepting people evolving. Another thing is there's a myth that single means lonely. I have a lot of fulfilling relationships. I adore my friends. Once I started learning how to pick my tribe and pick people that are valuable in my life, my whole life changed. Okay. I have my grandchildren. I have my daughter. I have an abundance of love. I have friends that I've had for over 25 years. Jen is happy. Okay. Jen is good. Right. I don't have to, in my mind, happiness to me is not finding a soulmate and hoping he wipes my ass at 85. People change. Things change. Whether you're married or not, people change, things change. So we're not telling people don't get married. We're just saying, look at the statistics. Most people that get married want out, and 75% of women want out. So obviously the answer isn't in coupling up with somebody for a forever either, because humans are doing this thing that other people are telling them to do. And then those same humans, females, 75% of the time say, I don't want this. Men are cheating because they realize, oh, I don't want to be with one woman for the rest of my life. Right? So I'm going by evidence, what I see. I talk to married people, the way they respond to me. I had a friend of a friend. We were talking about marriage one time. She looks at me and she says, he's cheating, blah, blah, blah. I said, are you going to put up with that? She said, well, I spoke to his moms and his mother looked at me and said, if I think I'm going to have a marriage without infidelity, I'm insane. So infidelity is part of marriage. Fuck your life.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't look appealing most of the time. And even I look at my parents, right? My parents been together forever, right? But like I stated before, they are not the same parents I grew up with. So they went through like 15 years of what I view from my standpoint was like insanity, toxicity, shit that I'm just not willing to go through for 1 year, let alone 15, before it started to plateau. And they're at a place now where they're like lovey-dovey and da-da-da-da-da. That's great. Love it for them. But it's just the payoff doesn't appeal. Even the payoff doesn't appeal to me. And they are probably one of the most loving couples I've ever seen and witnessed with my own eyes. I love it for them. But even their traditional ideas of like everything that you name, Jen, they have to always think of each other. Always. And it's a bunch of compromise and a bunch of doing things you don't feel like doing. That's not what my life looks like. I have a full, happy, abundant, rich life. Prior to meeting the guy that I'm with. Mm-hmm. The guy that I'm with is the icing on the cake. If he calls right now and says, I changed my mind, I don't want to do it anymore. Okay. Back to the show. You know, like it's just right. It's not gonna stop anything. Will I be disappointed because like, you know, you did invest a little something in it? Yeah, but it's not gonna crush me.
Right.
And I want to say that even, you know, this is just an anecdotal for me, but even the smallest things, like for instance, Erica loves Marvel, and I like Marvel. I'll go to the Marvel movies. She knows the backstory. I don't have all that, right? But I'll go to that movie, but she doesn't because it emotionally affects her. I love movies based on truth, and a lot of times there's a lot of tragedy in those movies, and she can't handle it. So I'm alone watching those documentaries. I'm alone watching that because so there's things like that. Like, you know, that's what I'm saying. When people say, oh, you know, you're gonna, she wasn't always like that, by the way, you know, and that's just changed over time. Right. And there's just things, that's what I'm saying. Like you can, with all good intentions, love a woman and think you're going to spend the rest of your life. But those things, especially when you're young, change. Especially like the girl that was saying, or I think it was the girl that was saying, I'm 25, I don't want kids or be married. Mm-hmm. One of my girlfriends said the same thing. I don't want to ever have kids, and she's married with kids. Those things, especially when you're young, they just have a life cycle. You might be totally right. You might not want to ever have kids and marry, but that can change in 5 years. That's how fast it moves when you're young. But that's what I'm saying. It's just there's changing. Everything's changing, and sometimes you always hear you grow apart, and not necessarily. I'm of the belief that, you know, people think, and Jen, you may or may not agree, people think love is that kind of that honeymoon phase that you feel, and after that wears off, that's not real love.
Right.
I'll always with Erica and I don't think we'll ever not love each other. But are you telling me that when I met her and my eyes were like this big and I was like, I heard the Lady in Red song as she was walking down the stairs and I was like, holy smoke. Yeah, I mean, or the accent that was really cute and she's not annoying. I said that before. It's not annoying, but I don't hear it anymore. Things change. That's all. It's not, there's nothing to be ashamed. And like I said, I told before, if it ended tomorrow, I've been with her for over 20 years now. You can't say it's
I want to
failure.
I want to make another point about the wiping your ass at 80. My granddad is currently in a nursing home because he set himself up like you, no saint, for that. Like he worked his ass off, made wonderful investments, and then when dementia came around, his investments were able to take care of him and he's being taken care of well. And when I go visit him, the nursing home is filled with single and married people. That's all I have.
Yes.
Damien, welcome to the panel, sir. Your audio right?
Yeah, y'all can hear me okay?
We can hear you good. What say you, sir? A lot has been said tonight, boy. We even had a little crazy up here earlier.
Yeah, I saw that. I've been like peeping on and off and stuff like that between the shit I got to get done before.
He's still in the chat. He's still in the chat talking to himself.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I saw the video about Lala saying married people are like the most people in her that she knows or that are married are miserable. I'm like, but you got to consider the source. She probably, maybe she had her parents who had a bad marriage or whatever, and then she married an NBA player who cheated on her every 5 minutes. So she's gonna be kind of jaded when it comes to like the whole concept of marriage and the validity of marriage, because she's over here like, if I marry a guy, he makes these promises to me and then he cheats on me all the time. What is good is marriage means nothing. It has no value. Mm-hmm. I mean, to me, like the value of marriage, the reason I got married, the funny thing is all of those reasons too. I was out hoeing around and stuff like that. I could have done that. I could have been Diddy and just been like doing my thing, sticking and moving. But then it was somebody who showed genuine concern about my well-being and my and a vested interest in my long-term health. And it made me want to do the same for them. Yeah, I get it. You can do the same thing in long-term relationships without getting married. But I think why I chose to get married is I just wanted to kind of state my intention. My intention was to put our relationship first before me and her. Like, so that was both of our intentions. We're going to put the relationship first. So if issues come up and stuff like that, we know that the relationship holds value to both of us and we're going to work through it. It's just a pledge to kind of like work through the shit when it gets hard, not really give up. That's the way I'd say, that's the way the intent is. I think marriage is in need of a rebrand. I think it's been branded like, oh, you get married, you don't get to do anything. You don't, you got to ask somebody's opinion about shit and all that kind of stuff like that. And you're tied down. I mean, to me, it's the exact opposite. Me and married, I'm more free as far as like worries. I'm worry free than I was when I was single. I was worried, oh shit. When I was single, I was like, is this shit gonna come over when this chick is here? I think people have said like, and I'm sick. Who, nobody gave a shit. I'd have to get up out of my bed and go and get if I wanted to get some medicine or somebody like that,
Right.
But I think in my situation, my wife knows in February that comes that around this time of year in Texas, it's there's a lot of my allergies kick up, and she's already known that my allergies medicine is already laid up. It's like it's around that time you get your allergy. It's just somebody who's committed to your long-term health and well-being, and it's just like that's what like marriage means to me. And don't get me wrong, I think a lot of people get married for the wrong reasons. I think a lot of people get married because they think they're supposed to. Oh, I've been with you for 5 years. I guess I'm supposed to get married, or the woman feels like she's not valued by the dude because he hasn't put a ring on her or something like that sometimes. But if you get in it thinking, okay, this person has added so much value, I promise to you that I'm going to put our relationship before any of my selfish interests. and I want to do it in front of the world. And inherently, people, if you have the right mentality, like you keep the promises you make to yourself. You know, hopefully, if you are going through life doing things don't prevent you, you keep the promises that you make to yourself. I promise certain things, and I promise it to her, but I more promise it to myself. And I think I'm a better person. I know I'm mentally and financially and everything better because I'm being married. I was real reckless when I was single. So I don't know. That's the way I see it. I feel like they said if you get married, you meet the right person. It's like, and I guess the dude said if you meet the right woman, you marry the right woman, it's like you hit the lottery and it's like a cash register. You can make more money. You can be more happy than you ever were.
So first of all, I love your insight, but let's start with the Lala thing. When you say, well, she married a guy that was constantly cheating, blah, blah, blah. So is it really that she's jaded or she has more wisdom, right? On the behavior, male behavior. The second thing is when you say marriage needs a rebranding, I totally agree. And it's being rebranded via polyamory, via people living together and not locking down with marriage. I also, when you say, it sounds to me like, and I'll compare it to religion for lack of a better thought right now. People who don't have religion wild out. But with religion in their life and the idea that somebody's watching them and they're going to break a sin, then they will chill. You said you lived recklessly before your marriage. And your marriage changed that for you. You was wilding out, but now you got this woman that you're responsible for her emotions and her feelings and her heart. So it sounds to me like you're almost using her as a religion. Now, when you say, if I'm sick, somebody's bringing me something, it's still to me not appealing. Let's say just for the sake of debate, if we were debating, well, these are the reasons why you should get married. I'm like, if the reason why I should lock down with a whole human being is because I need soup when I have a cold, I don't think I want the rest of the responsibility just because I need someone to be there for me. And also I want to say, and then I'll pass the mic, no saying. Also, I want to say, when you say it needs rebranding in terms of it doesn't mean you're locked down, it actually does mean that, because you can see a woman who's very, very attractive. You ain't going to stick your dick in her because you locked down to your wife. So it does not mean freedom at all. It doesn't mean freedom. Now, it may mean freedom from the risk of you messing around with other women. And you just said someone knocking on the door when you got somebody in the bed. It takes, you're free to not live that lifestyle anymore, but it's definitely not freedom. It's actually more confinement because you have to be a certain type of man to be functional, to be a good dad, and to be a good husband. It's actually rigid, in my opinion, marriage. It's not freedom, but I digress. No saint, you take it, and then Damon.
Yeah, I mean,
and I have something I want to add to that as well.
Freedom from, if depending on how reckless you are, maybe freedom from a venereal disease or something. But let me say something. When you're talking about, I get what you're saying. You're kind of talking with a little bit of an old school, like, when I get sick, somebody's going to give, when I get sick, if I don't have somebody, I got this right here, and it's called Uber. And I just sit there, Uber pharmacy, bam, bam, bam. I need some medicine. I got food. I want a video
What happens
game?
when you pass out?
I got 911. I'm falling. I can't get up. I mean, I got all that, man. But I get you. Listen, a great relationship, and Damon, it sounds like you have a really good relationship. Yeah. I mean, I'd say it probably outweighs being single, if you can maintain that throughout your life. But those are rare. And that's all I think everybody, like Jen is saying, is those are not the normal. And everybody thinks they're going to get into that relationship, and most people don't. And so if you have that, man, caps off.
You want to know something? It wasn't until Dane was saying something, and something clicked in me, and I was like, hold on, I just realized something. We keep hearing about the soup and the ass wiping and all that, right? And, of course, like this particular night in this particular stream, it's not the first time we've heard about that, right?
Uh-huh.
But then I thought about it, and I was like, and then I heard what you said, Jen, and I was like, yeah, like I'm the same way. Like if I get sick or whatever, I got a plethora of people who are going to look after me, come over and do whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then I thought about it more, and I said, hold on, whenever we do hear that, soup and ass wiping, it's typically coming from the men, right? Because when you think about male relationships, they look different from female relationships.
Yeah.
Female relationships, we are more intimate, we're touchy feely. We'll do that. We'll give our girlfriend a sponge bath, and it's like a no thought. But of course, in the male culture, that's a thought, and whatever. So it's just the way that the male dynamic and the female dynamic is set up. I think this is just my theory. I'm saying this out loud for the first time in life. But I think it's just because of that dynamic looks different. You rarely hear us saying that that's our fear, but you hear the men telling us that should be our fear. But we're like, no, I'm good.
All right,
Yeah.
so let me expound upon that. I think people, the whole wiping blood and medicine and stuff like that, that doesn't mean wiping blood and getting medicine. That means that somebody views your health and your well-being in a significant light. They go to great lengths to make sure your well-being is taken care of. Like, for example, like you said, you get sick, you got a bunch of people that are come and help you. But the feeling of somebody who never wants you to get sick in the first place, who does things to make sure you don't get sick in the first place. Like I'm saying, if I was single and my allergies kicked up, yeah, I could call. I'm sure I could call somebody and be like, hey, could you swing by and give me some allergy medicine? There's a difference between somebody who says, you know what, I'm going to make sure that this is not even an issue for that person. I'm going to make sure he has what he needs or she has what she needs, to make sure that that's not even a consideration. I mean, that's the difference between some relationships, the reaction of to somebody and being proactive when it comes to somebody. I think that's the main difference. I feel like a lot of people are reactive in relationship, like, oh, my wife wants she wants this, or my significant other, my person I'm with wants this, let me go get it. But the proactive, I think, mine, I feel like, is like, okay, let me make sure that this person is never in want for that in the first place, because I've already taken care of it. Maybe that's the way. Maybe I'm spoiled. Maybe I'm spoiled because that's the kind of wife I got. She makes sure.
But that's the kind of life I have.
I mean, but that's the majority. But Damien, that's the majority of women. The way you describe your wife, the way you describe your wife, that is the majority.
I don't know if most men would agree with that. I don't know if I would even agree with that, because I was married before, remember, and that person wasn't like that.
Well, I will say that.
I'll say, go ahead. No,
I was gonna say, and she's coming from a Latino point of view, and that's how. Erica's like that. Erica's always.
Every woman in my family, my relatives, my friends, that's just women naturally, right? And it sounds. The more I heard you speak, but it's also a cultural thing too, Damien.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It's probably
also a cultural thing. So the more I hear you speak, the more it sounds to me like mothering, right? I do things for my child and my grandchildren, make sure they don't get sick. I am on it. Put a coat on, put your hat on. Don't come out the shower like that. Constantly on it to prevent, to be proactive for their health. Sounds like more mothering to me. That is the attraction. Also sounds like codependency. And let me just say something about the ass wiping. It is not for the faint of heart. If you have never, and I have, if you have never did it twice over for someone who was in a hospice, elderly, my grandmother, and I did it for a boyfriend that I had who was shot multiple times. If you have not wiped an adult person's ass in your life, do not think that is something to play with. Do not think that you're cut out for it. A lot of people bounce. A lot of people that say they love you, no matter what, will bounce at the ass wiping.
And that was the point that I was trying to make earlier, because
we play around a lot. We play around a lot. Well, you need somebody going to be there when you need your ass wiped. It is not for the faint of heart. It is fucking serious. It is not like wiping the ass of a newborn. Trust me. I just want to put that out there.
I think a lot of times we look, so far down the line, but like you said, something happened dramatically, right, with your boyfriend at the time. He got shot up, and then that changed that dynamic. So luckily for him, you were around to take care of him. But let's say you wasn't around, right? Then what are you going to do? We like I said, a lot of times we take.
Well, the hospital. Here's the thing: the hospital they would have done it. His mother would have done it.
Okay, but there's some people who don't have their mother, and yes, the hospital gonna take care of you up until you can't pay your bill. You see what I'm saying? So right. So what I'm saying is with the marriage thing, right? That's part of the I guess part of the pros, right? Is that you have somebody, you have a companion that could help you out with those things if you truly with the right person. Because we talked about earlier, a lot of people, we're just not choosing the right partners, and that's why the divorce rate is so high. But the reality is that as human beings, we're not conditioned to be by ourselves like that. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you have your freedom and whatnot. Because if that was true, that we're solo creatures and not social creatures, then you wouldn't have people flipping out, losing their minds. You know what I'm saying? When they by themselves, like the incels, or people who are behind the jail walls, who are in isolation, 23-hour lockdown. So we're social creatures, right? We're a little different from the animals. And one last thing I want to say too is this: we got to look at who Lala's friends are, right? We did mention that she was in a bad relationship with Mello, but let's put these details on the table too. Lala was a lot older than Mello. Mello was a kid when she got him. You know what I'm saying? And like we were saying earlier, people change and stuff, right? But that was based upon things on the exterior. You know what I'm saying? And then when they, maybe Mello grew apart, and then he did what he did, whatnot. And then we could look at Lala's friends. Who's a BFF? Kim Kardashian, and you see the train wreck with all her marriages. So I could understand how Lala would feel a certain way, but then you got to get with the right type of person. Now she's got more options because she has the enhancements. You know what I'm saying? But those things don't last forever, and I like to see this generation, these young generation, the 20 somethings and early 30 somethings are going to look 30, 20 years from now, when those enhancements, right? when gravity starts taking effect, and now they got to go back to the doctor, you're going to see a lot of people are going to get themselves hurt out here, because when they're older, they're going to try to get these things fixed, and when you're older, your body doesn't heal, doesn't react the same. Now, if you're lucky like Jen, who has non-fleeting natural beauty, you might be okay. But a lot of these people, they putting this stuff in there, and moving things around that shouldn't be moved, and I'm afraid that it's not gonna look good, 20 years from now.
Let me jump in so we could pass the mic to Chocolate. I do want to reply to something you said. You said, look at Lala's friends, right? Yeah, that's a factor. Look her network. But even people who aren't Lala, me, Lily, other people have been in circles where we're asking married people, and they're giving us the same reply as the reply that Lala got. So it's not a tax bracket thing. It's not a celebrity thing. People are just not looking at marriage like they used to. Yes, we are social creatures, but the majority of the population is not meant to couple up with one person for the rest of its life. And we're mixing those two things up.
I agree.
Regarding incels, those incels, they choose, like it's literally voluntary, right? Celibacy. They choose to be at home, play the video games, and hate women. Those men could stop making women a priority, stop making sex a priority, and go out in the world, put their little PlayStation away, take a shower, get a haircut, trim their beard. It's a choice. They can go out there. They don't have to be incels. They choose to be incels. They choose to be antisocial. So yeah, we are social creatures, but that doesn't mean that we're built to couple up with one person for the rest of our lives. And we can see it in the divorce rate. We can see it in who's filing for divorce. Obviously, the math ain't mathing. The math ain't mathing. I keep hearing, well, you're supposed to find your soulmate and be with them forever. But the math is not mathing. People in marriages being miserable or afraid no one's gonna be there to wipe their ass. And it's just the math is not mathing. That's why I said marriage works, but there are a handful of humanity that can do it. A handful. The population is teeny tiny. It's tiny.
I agree. I'm
Can I
getting ready to
can I
slide
just
off,
reply to
Jen.
something she just said earlier about like the one thing when you said like the thing that I was kind of describing was more mother and the difference between what like the mother and you don't really have a choice. You kind of gotta wipe your kid's ass. You kind of gotta feed them. You kind of gotta make sure to get sick. When you a grown person, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do none of that shit. You can say no, you don't. You have a choice not to do it and not be with that person. If you didn't like, I'm the type of person that's proactive and give and want to make sure certain things are taken care of for you. I'm not gonna be with that person. I'm gonna be with a person where that's not an issue. Kids, you have to do it. There's no choice in it. Well, you can, but you'd be a shit person if you did decide to not wipe your kid's ass and feed them and make sure they wasn't sick and all that kind of shit. But that's the difference. I think the difference is the freedom of choice to do it or not. You choose to do this. You don't have to do these things.
Do y'all remember Nene Leakes when Greg Leakes got sick?
Yes.
Do y'all remember they've been married forever and ever, and she didn't anticipate it being that difficult on her, and she didn't know that she wasn't built for it until the day came.
That's what I said. That's the true test.
I disagree with what Damien said, and here's why. I disagree. Because if you want to be, and this goes for men too, not just for women. If you want to be in a long-lasting relationship, you have a duty to take care of your husband. The husband has a duty to take care of a wife. So you have to, if you want to be in a long, happy marriage, you have to. Because the minute you slack up and it's like, I don't got to pick up his fucking NyQuil for his fucking cold. I ain't got to have the freaking, allergy medicine in here. I'm tired. I ain't going to do these dishes. Matter of fact, I ain't even going to shave my motherfucking legs. Throw my hair in my bonnet. Same thing with a man. If a man is like, yo, fuck that, I'm tightening up, stop, leave, don't turn the heat off, don't use all this fucking water, he get the nagging her about money, it's gonna cause conflict. So yes, you have to, just like you have to take care of your children, you have to take care of that man. Or somebody else who looks like me, who answers the phone at his office will. And women know that. Women know that they have to. I gotta suck his dick spontaneously. I gotta make him romantic dinners. I have to stay looking attractive. If you do not, it will cause conflict. And that's why I disagree, because you have to. It is a duty, same as parenting is a duty. If not, you will find yourself cheated on or single by force, not by choice.
I just want to say real quick, because I'm getting ready to come off. I just want to say this is my last statement. I'm getting off. What you said earlier though about the marriage, the marriage versus the divorce numbers, right? Especially with the divorce numbers, we have to keep in mind that we are in the social media age. We have a lot of options. You could go on any app. You can find whatever you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? So that is a huge impact on that, because I guarantee you, if you pull the census of divorces in 1960, it's a completely different animal than what it is today. But I enjoyed the show, the panel. You're all very informative, very intelligent. Jen, best of luck with everything. You're great.
Thank you.
See you later.
Thank you. Yeah, I made the exception for just notice because.
All right, ladies, man, let's give a hand for Ish.
Listen, he's absolutely right. Environment changes everything. During the pandemic, divorce rate, the divorce rate dropped, did it not? Nobody wanted to get divorced because we didn't know if it was going to be the zombie apocalypse. Everybody was scared to get divorced. So fuck yeah. Social media has a huge impact on relationships and marriage and money and how you view life. Absolutely. That's why it's dangerous not to realize we're in a different world now.
Yeah. And
when you get married today, you have to know that your husband and your wife there's going to be an ass buffet on their social media, and they may be tempted, right? Their sexy is going to be different. So yeah, he's absolutely right. Social media is a huge factor. Huge. BBLs are a huge factor.
Yeah, but let's not act as if, people like bringing up the 50s and 60s, and you can't because as if it's on the even playing field, and then social media came and everything went to hell. Nah, it's a lot more than that. And we've talked about it before. Women were not in position to leave like they are today, and that's the truth. Women can support themselves without a man, so it makes it much more. And as Jen says, men are normally the ones that are going to take the hit.
Yeah, and we have, but it's a great example of what women really wanted to do all along, is it not?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they thought. I'm just trying to think. I don't know if that's what they thought they wanted to do, but they just kind of accepted the reality they were in and knew that, they had to stick with it.
No, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. That now that they don't have to, it's a sign of that they were putting up with shit.
Yeah,
because
They
have the freedom not to have to be tied down to a man. They're like, whoo, that's a relief. Let me take off this apron.
And let's not act like it's, listen, atheism, people who are non-believers, has been growing in this country now for a while. But back when my grandparents were around, that was like, you were embarrassed to get a divorce. Like, it was a scarlet letter. The religion, some religions won't, like the Catholic Church, they won't let you get remarried. They don't even allow they pretty much don't even allow divorce. If you're going to get remarried, you got to go somewhere else. So
I'm curious about something, and I don't know how to answer this. I have no statistics to like what you got, but I'm just curious. Do people think 40 plus year old people are happier single or in long-term relationships, marriage or whatever? Mostly marriage.
Oh, so much. I'm plus. I'm
talking about. I'm not. Let's take us each individual out because we all have perspective. I'm just saying as a whole. If you have an idea of society, do you think 40 plus year old people are happier single?
Asking
everybody.
Yes.
I would say yeah, but I may be biased because I'm happy in my 40s. But I would say yeah, because marriages are hard for a lot of people. They're always complaining about them.
Yes. I have to agree. Yeah, because we're not pushed to marry our friends. We're not pushed to marry to be connected. It's more like duty, like you said earlier. It has no. Like I said, it's transactional. Like, why would I want? I don't want it. Like, it doesn't even sound inviting anymore. Being married to anything or anybody, even if I thought I wanted to, the way that it's presented now is almost like, well, I mean, you over there, so I'm over here. Let's get married, and you should be lucky because your clock is gone, and some other like craziness that they add or every week. And I just, why would I want to do this? What's romantic about any of that?
And here's
like,
the thing,
for real.
you know what's more proof? You know what I mean? I'm a little people sponge. I love observing people and listening to people talk. That's actually one of the things that inspired me to do this YouTube thing. But if you're sitting in a crowd of friends, any crowd of friends, I don't care if it's at a bar, a party, at work, at lunch, whatever, you just listen to everybody talking. The majority of the people complaining are the married people.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, yes, it's nice if you're sick, someone bring you a bowl of soup and you don't got to get up out the bed coughing and wheezing and get your own soup. But you don't hear that in a group of people. When you're in a group of people, you don't hear, damn, last time I was sick, I ain't have nobody to bring me some soup. You don't hear that. You hear, I'm tired of this bitch. I cheated on her. I don't want to be in this marriage anymore. I got to stay for the kids. Our money is tied up. She don't fuck me like she used to. She gained some weight. His dick don't get up. The money is tied up. Inflation. I'm tired of being, I got to call in. I got to check in. She texting me right now. You hear that in a group. You don't hear a group of single people complaining that they're single.
Well,
you don't hear it.
Because they're trying to make their single people are spending too much time trying to boast up the image of being single. I feel like a lot of times I hear cats talk about how amazing it is, but I realize like
you really don't believe it, do you?
Yeah, it is amazing.
Yeah, they're not boasting, Damien.
Like, I mean, it's just like they're always trying to impress each other. It's always this level of general bullshit.
Are you talking about men impressing each other or
Men
women impressing each other?
men and women.
No, I think men
You don't think women
want
try
to
to impress
impress more. Y'all
women? Just
are
talk shit, just hate
impressed.
on each other more.
No, see that's wrong. That is so incorrect. How is that possible? How you got 3 women of color up here? Have you heard one of us hate on one another?
What are you saying? Is your arguments ain't no sense? That's a nonsensical argument.
I know it
That's
is. I'm
ridiculous.
sorry to circle your head.
No,
I'm gonna
it's
mute
going
up.
over my head.
No, I said circle. I just said circle. That's all. I wasn't
What
saying
does that mean?
over.
I'm sorry. You're smarter than me.
No,
What does
it's
that mean?
okay. No, see, now you're being nasty.
I'm just
It's
Hold on,
okay. No, you're not. No,
hold
you
on.
ain't.
Let me acknowledge the super chat before Just Notice leaves. Thank you so much for the super chat, Just Notice. He said, great topic. Salute to Jen and the panel. Thanks for
There you
coming
go,
up.
just notice.
Just Notice. I don't know, Damien. I gotta throw a little
There's
tiny
not a little
tap
certain
at you.
level of bullshit when a bunch of people together because they always seem to talk about what they have or what they're doing or
You
how
don't think
happy
they're
they are.
happy about what they have and what they're
All I'm
doing?
saying it's just like if I don't know, it's just like the people who said that talk about how amazing their life is are usually a lot of times aren't that happy with the way things are going. And a lot of
But
times
do you mean by loneliness though?
I don't
See, there's a
necessarily
difference
that may be a
between
part.
being lonely and having someone to distract you the majority of the time. So like I'm my own entertainment when I'm by myself, but if I got a wife and some kids and a cat and a dog, I can get lost in all of that and not have to deal with whatever's going on with me, which is fine. That may be your release. But
That
as a
just happened.
single person
Yeah.
in any given time, I don't have any other responsibilities as far as children. To me, I feel like I didn't get married. That situation didn't happen. So I wasn't going to make any kids. It just wasn't going to happen. And I said that I was 19 years old, because it was like I grew up like that, where my parents shouldn't have had kids. I'm thankful to be here, but they shouldn't have had us. My father was not, he was not the best. And so his actions, my mother's actions, just like we see across the board, it damaged people. And then when we try to interact with each other on another level, we may not want to address it. But your first relationships with the males and females in your family have a lot to do with why you end up single or alone. Did your parents coddle you? Did they say everything that you could do is okay? That type of personality could grow up and be the president of the United States. So it's just like, you have to see where that type of rhetoric goes. And I think a lot of times where you'll hear a few magazines or a couple bloggers talk about being single, and you guys will take that and post that on every single person. And it's like, no, I'm not trying to impress anybody by telling them I'm single. If you ask, I'll tell you. I enjoy my company because I gotta be, even after everybody go to bed, I still gotta deal with me. But besides that, the freedoms that are important to me may not be important to the person who's married. So one isn't better than the other. I think the problem why it's put out there like that is because we're not allowed to really know who we are. We're always in a rush. Have your kids young, get it out the way, do this, go ahead, buy a house, get your, you're on a time clock. And then when you don't hit those moments, it's like, oh, well, your life ain't shit. The fact that you would say, like anybody would say over 40 women are hit the wall and they can't have kids, like the vitriol, but then y'all miss a big gap and then jump down to like 18 to 25-year-olds. Why are you
Y'all,
worried
I don't think
about
nobody on
them?
this panel said
Oh,
any such
okay.
thing.
I'm gonna mute up. Thank you for my time. I'll wait till next time, till the mic coming
I'm
back
just
around.
curious, who is y'all? I didn't say it. No, Saint didn't say it. Jen didn't say it. Lily didn't say it. Nobody said y'all. I didn't even I don't even like the term "hit the wall." It's just I just asked the question. Or, in your opinion, do you feel like 40 plus people or single people are happier than 40 plus people in a relationship. I'm not talking about marriage. And I never said one was better than the other. Everybody ain't made to be married.
I haven't accused you of saying any of that. I don't know.
Everybody
how
ain't
you,
made to be married. I'm not saying marriage is for everybody.
But I didn't.
The topic is most married people are miserable. That's what I'm disagreeing with. I'm not saying, I'm not talking about the single people need to get married. I'm just saying the people.
I didn't say that.
Most
So let me
married
ask you,
people
Damien, you
are
think,
miserable.
and by the way, I love that Damien's up here. It's a different perspective. We are answering the question, are most married people miserable? Really quickly before I ask Damien a question, Donovan, you took the thought right out of my head. Dame, being single doesn't have to be amazing. It's just not as stressful as being married. That's what I was about to say, right? Because you're going to have issues. You're going to have situations you're going through, whether you're single or married. But when you're married, you are compounded with having to consider a wife or a husband and your children, which to me makes it even more stressful than me wondering what I'm going to wear Friday night to go out on a date. It's less stressful. My time is mine. I get to watch whatever movie I want to see. I get to eat whatever the fuck I want. I can post whatever I want on social media. I ain't got to bring nobody no soup when they sick. I don't have to worry about having the Benadryl in the cabinet. There's a lot that goes. It's a lot of work. Marriages are a lot of work. Good marriages are a hell of a lot more work. Good marriages. So I have to agree with Don Levant. But let me ask you a question, Dame.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
if you disagree with the sentiment, do you think that most married people are happy?
All right.
Especially after 40.
All right. That's what I'm saying. If a little bit older, I think in most cases, yes. The people that I'm around, where I live, everybody's married. I don't know. They seem to be happy. I believe that most married people that have been married for a certain amount of time, who've gotten past the bullshit, are happy. You know, if you marry young and you just and you do it for the wrong reasons, or you insecure, or you desperate and stuff like that, yeah. But people who marry because they genuinely saw value in marriage and want to uphold the vows they made, like in the commitment to putting the marriage first, I think are happy. I think those are the people.
So you think most married people do that? Most
married people my age, I should say, because that's who I should go share with. Are happy.
So, going back to a point that Reese made earlier, he was coming from the perspective of bartender / barber. And I did bartending, and then I did makeup artistry for over a decade. So he was very right when he said that you hear a lot, a lot. And what amazes me when social media came out, right? And I started seeing people posting and things, people whose makeup I've done and who shared about their, dissatisfaction in their marriages. I will see those same posts come up, and I'm like, if I didn't know what I knew, this should fool me. This would fool me.
Lily, I have had conversations. I have had propositions. I have had offers from men who the next day will post a picture of their wife. And if you didn't know them better or personally, I'm talking about big fucking bouquets, kiss on the cheek to the wife. I love her. She's everything. I'm like, yo, one screenshot will ruin your whole fucking world.
How about the pajamas, the matching pajamas over the holidays?
Oh my God. I'm like, yo, if this lady only
knew.
Okay.
No.
So real quick before Damien, I think you're in a gated community. I think you said you were in a gated community. You're in San Antonio. I have a really good friend from New Orleans, been in San Antonio for over 20 years, lives in a gated community. His name's Tony. If you see him, he's not happy.
Tony in the gated community. I'll make sure that.
He hasn't been happy since I was 20.
There's a lot of them in
25. I'm letting you know right now. He cheats on his wife. His wife gained weight after the first shot. He's in his late he's probably 56, 57, but he works out all the time. He still skis like on a little ski thing, the boogie, what is it, the wakeboarding.
Yeah.
He's very active. His wife never lost the weight, and it's been
But
every time I'm around them, it's la 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 la.
You know what?
He wouldn't have been miserable as a single guy too. Is it? That's
But
not
you know
marriage
what?
that's making miserable. You can't say that.
I'm thinking about
miserable people are going to be miserable people. If you have a shitty outlook at life, whether you're married or single, you're going to have a shitty outlook at life. If you have certain expectations of what you're owed in life and they don't happen, you're going to be miserable.
Well, it was just it ended up being they were not equal because he kept his body in shape until this day, and I don't know. I mean, listen, I'm not saying he's without fault. He's got a lot of fault.
Who did that? He would have been miserable if he would have.
But check this out.
The marriage had nothing to do with that. It had something to what he expected from her.
I don't have another little cap, but let me tell you. Don Levon said happier. Well, the divorce rate says something different.
Well, the rate is less than 50%. It means that more than happy for the majority of people are staying in their marriage. If it's 42%, that's still less than 50%.
Right, but are they staying? Are they staying because they're lucky in love, or are they staying because now they have this host of responsibility that they locked in with people?
That's something we will never know. We will never know.
We all talk to. That's the thing. Like Lala.
Isn't that statistically they have to talk about that in the divorces, don't they?
Yeah,
that's why
people that get divorced, yes, they have.
So how do we get these statistics if we don't know?
No,
we know
by married people who the other 58% who stay in their marriage.
But those are the people that we're having. But those are the people that we're having conversations with. Those are the people that are saying
right.
Those are the people we talk to constantly.
Like his friend, why doesn't he leave her? Like that's never the first thought. Like why doesn't he? No. I understand what you're going to say. I'm sorry, but yeah, more like a rhetorical. Yeah. Why hasn't he? If his fitness, if it's that important to you, then why are you still with her? If you're that unhappy, why is he okay in being that unhappy?
Look at B Money being chased by B Money being chased by married women. Don Levon being chased by married women. Dame, how many married women did you sleep with? We're gonna stop the cat on this Thursday.
Hold up. But when you say that, it's like, how many married women did I not sleep with?
Oh, don't do it. Don't do it.
I mean,
don't
do it. One of those things you can't do.
But
that.
You can't make
the minor the major. You can't make it. There's not. You can't.
Why can't we just deal with one side first? Has that ever come to the conclusion that we work out the problem on one side and then move to the other? There is no way you believe that everything in life is that balanced. There's no way. Human beings are not that predictable in that way, that they're that balanced 24 hours a day. Come on, sir. Why can't we just talk about this one part? This part here.
Don't forget to put your ring back on.
You know what I think? I think the reason why us ladies are, I guess, jaded, or because we know what our DMs look like, and a lot of them are married men, and then we see them on the main page giving something completely different.
Out of 100 married men, maybe 30 of them slide into DMs, but there's 70% of them who don't.
30?
Sir, what? Where did you get those statistics?
That was just a I was just using that for brevity. Basically,
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
13 years. I've been on social media 13 years.
You're saying that every married man who's seen your picture has DM'd you trying to holler. Every married man seeing your picture has DM'd you. Every man who's DM'd you trying to holler.
Well, who are you posing the question to, sir?
I'm talking to you, Jen. Every married man who's been in your who's seen your picture has tried to holler.
I'm gonna answer that. First, thank you for the super chat, Fahim Jackson. Fahim Jackson says, without marriage, you find most men have no vested interest in contributing to society. Not good for civilization long term. And B Money, thank you so much for the super chat, says divorce is expensive. Many people stay married out of convenience. I know some people personally who are married because it's cheaper to keep her. To answer your question, Damien, when you put the word every on it, right, which is an exaggeration.
Say most.
Right? You said every. Okay, we'll take it to most.
Okay.
Okay, we'll use most if it's better. When you say most, I would say yes. Every, that's an exaggeration.
Okay.
Most, yes.
Okay.
Most, yes.
Okay.
Let me explain, because you're asking me my experience, and I want to share my experience because somebody else may be watching and learn something. I don't know. But I've been on social media for 13 years. I've had a plethora, a myriad, grand selection of married men who were looking to supplement their marriage. And let me tell you, 2 or 3 is a lot, because married people are supposed to be happy. 5, 10 is a lot. We're talking about hundreds of men in the span of 13 years. Men that have DM'd me and said, I would never cheat on my wife, but I'd make the exception for you. I would never cheat on my wife, but I love your sense of humor and you're so down to earth and you got edge to you. Men, married men for 13 years. I've had men say, I will leave my wife if I knew that you would lock me down. Men that the next day will post the thousand roses kissing their wife on the cheek. That is the reality. It's not a rumor. It's not sometimes it happens. It's not once in a blue moon. It is often. I can go in my DMs right now.
Since we've been on the show, child. Since we don't been on the show.
Talk about married men. I don't understand why men don't understand that. This is the reality.
My question was, I think my question is, you might understand my question was, I didn't say the ones who DM you are trying to holler. I said, you've been on, like you said, social media and on these streets, YouTube streets for a while. And I'm sure thousands upon thousands, let's say 100,000 men have seen your face, seen what you look like, married, and have chosen not to DM you to try to holler at you. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the ones
who say they're not DMing somebody else besides Jen.
All I'm saying is, but okay, so, but who says they are? It's just you can't prove a negative. There's no way to prove a negative.
What is it exactly? Is it?
Negatives.
How are you still trying to have this balance? Is it that men want more opportunities than women? Is that it? Like,
it's not balanced. It is not balanced.
It's never balanced.
It's not balanced. There are more people married who are unhappy than there are people married who are happy. It is not
more
balanced.
people that are unhappy than happy.
Not balanced.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
It is not balanced. Then you're delusional. It is not balanced. People are staying married. Listen to men. Don't listen to me. Listen to men. Okay. The term cheaper to keeper was coined by a man, not by women.
Right. Miserable man, an unhappy man.
Men will stay and endure because it's expensive. Divorce is expensive because they don't want to be away from their children. That's another reason. That is why men stay. Men stay no matter what. You know what women do? 75% of the time, I don't give a damn that you're not going to be close to these kids. I don't give a damn that this is going to hurt your pocket. I am leaving. That is a fact. It is not even. More people are miserable married than not. You will never get me to believe the opposite.
And yeah, it's hard. I guess our experience dictates our reality, and my reality has been something different.
Okay, and my experience has been not only my personal experience, but everybody I ask. From young people to old people, people that have been married longer than you and your wife, when I ask them, what's the secret? What's going on? They roll their fucking eyes. They take a deep breath. They tell me, look, girl, it's a lot of work. So our experiences are different. Our experiences are different. Not only my personal experience, but from celebrities to blue collar people, to people that are poor, to people that are rich, to homeless people, to people with mansions. All of them always have the girl.
They do.
Right. The fake. Oh, it's good.
They answer me like I'm asking them, do they want to be cremated or buried when they die?
It's so true.
To your point, Jen, how many times I've been told over the years, girl, be lucky you ain't married. Right. You ain't got to worry about nobody cheating on you, sis. You ain't got to go to bed. Da, 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 da. And it's like, well, That's why I said it's not even, there's no romance, there's no intimacy. Why do we even say love? We should just call it business and the making of children and move on. You get a place, I get a place. Let's make these kids and move on. Go have your man cave, go on trips. I don't even have to see you after this is over with. And let's just move on. But we can't make it that simple because we hide behind these draperies of bullshit that, oh my gosh, marriage is the sanctity. Listen,
Marry right,
you
you'll be happy.
stay,
Marry wrong,
you
you'll be miserable.
stay,
That's all I
you
can say.
stay for many, many reasons, so many different layers. And I find that interesting that for a person who craves nuance when discussing certain things, this part is definitely nuance. Men have certain traits, women have certain traits. Some people got married for convenience and the fact that it was socially unacceptable. We still have a hierarchy that a married woman is better than a single woman, and on and on and on. There's still levels, right? So it matters.
Happier, better, but not happier.
Like I said, marry right, you'll be happy. Marry wrong, you'll be miserable. That's all I got to say.
It's not that simple. How can two human beings be that black and white? It doesn't work that way. There's other pieces. That's there it is. It's like a spaghetti with no sauce, or like no seasoning, like no cook it in the pot, throw it on the floor. What?
Let me say something. Marriages go left so often that there are phrases that were coined to explain it. 7-year itch. Cheaper to keeper. Marriages go left so often. Oh, he wants a Corvette now. He's having a midlife crisis. He's not happy to be with you anymore. He needs excitement. There have fucking been phrases coined because marriages go left more often than not. That's my only point. And if you're in a happy marriage, salute to you. But obviously, it was two people that compromised. Yeah, I'm going to bring you that soup and make sure the Benadryl is in the account. Yeah, okay, I'm going to make sure I suck your dick. Those two people decided, all right, I'm going to compromise with you. But they had to give up who they are naturally. Don't tell me different. They had to give up a part of themselves that is selfish. They had to do it. So there are some sort of constraints.
And have you seen a woman who's been married for a long time after the divorce?
Yes.
I'm not talking about divorce people. Of course, that person's gonna be. You're not talking about divorce people who stay.
I can't be up here for too long. I just want to say a few things.
Go ahead.
First of all,
let me read the super chat before you speak. Thank you for the super chat.
Right.
Don says 42% filed for divorce and another 30% that can't afford to leave. Dame, that's about 70% of unhappy married motherfuckers. You were saying, Haran.
first of all, most human beings are just unhappy. Period. Just unhappy. It's just the nature of human beings. Motherfuckers are just miserable. People are just unhappy. Whether you're single or married, people are just fucking unhappy. Second of all, as I told you before, love is the worst thing that ever happened to marriage. Because people dragged in their expectations, they dragged in their perceptions, they dragged in their bullshit ideas. This shit was just supposed to be about property, making people, and owning some shit. Y'all motherfuckers came in with Hallmark cards, your childhood trauma, your crush, and shit like that, and we've been fucked up ever since. You know what I mean? That's another thing. Number two, I will say this. This is very interesting about women, and I will say this tonight. I saw, how Rihanna's pregnancy and her situation was treated by most women, Black women, particular, who often discuss, the importance of having children in wedlock, getting married, the Black family, and so on and so forth. They had no issue with Rihanna being a fucking billionaire and not being married. And most of them said that, yeah, girl, she's worth $1 billion. Why get married? And that kicked something into my brain. Maybe this shit was never about companionship for most women. Maybe the shit was just about fucking resources. Maybe most women were just broke. Men had the power and the resources. They got on board, and that's it. Now that they have that shit, now it's an issue. Now it's a problem. Now it's like, well, I can get my own shit now. Why should I get married? And men kind of want to go back to a time where it's just supposed to be about love and so on and so forth, and maybe companionship. I don't know. At the end of the day, like I said, man, shit changes when money is involved. You know what I mean? Everybody's virtuous and everybody's altruistic when they're broke. You know what I mean? So, now women have the money, now women have this power, and maybe your wife always had options. She just couldn't exercise those options because she didn't have any fucking money at the time. It's the same thing, you know what I mean? Like I tell people, people don't necessarily have a problem with oppression all the time. They have a problem with being oppressed. Look, and I say all this to say, no matter, even if this is the case, there's still a sect of women and men who want to get married. Right. Why not concentrate on those people? And there are a sect of people who are in happy marriages. I know a few of them. But you know what I'm saying? I mean,
check back with them in 5 years. Check back with them.
You know what I mean? No, they've been together. No, they've been together for like 10, 20 years.
Well, check back with them in 5 years.
No, these people deserve to be together. Those people I can contend are some really great people. The others, I might have to check back in 5 years to see how that goes. But there's a sect where you can say, wow, you can see this is really love. You can see where this is. Most people, first of all, most people don't even love themselves. Okay? Most people don't even love themselves and know themselves. How the fuck do you expect this person to sit here and live up to the expectations of a spouse that we put on people? They don't have a great relationship with themselves. So with that being said, I have to go finish my move. I got some fucking boxes I got to put together and so on and so forth. I gotta make sure these motherfuckers don't drop my fucking instruments. You know what I mean? When they leave my fucking home.
With the link to your album.
Yeah, I've been man. I was gonna DM you earlier, Dan. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. I'm gonna do that before I'm gonna do that before the night is out. All right, player.
All right, I'll buy it.
I'm gonna see y'all.
All right. H&M been waiting here patiently, man.
Before I pass the mic to Hustle and Muscle, I did want to acknowledge this and address it really quickly. Rodville said, what's wrong with compromise? People do it for work and kids and opportunities. Let's explore the word compromise. Compromise means an agreement or a settlement of a dispute is reached by each side making concessions. And let's go a little further. What's a concession? Do tell. What is a concession? A concession, a thing that is granted, especially in response to demands, a thing conceded, okay? That means that compromise is bondage, motherfuckers. It means that you have to do something.
There's no choice in bondage.
That you wouldn't normally do. That's what compromise is. It's not full freedom. You are conceding to someone's needs. That's the problem with compromise. You are conceding. You're saying, I give up. I'm going to give you this thing that you want. That is not the natural state of human beings. That does not result in full happiness when you have to concede and compromise and make concessions for. You like it, I love it. I ain't fucking doing that shit. With that said, let's pass the mic to Hustler and Muscular. Welcome, sir. What say you?
How you doing?
Really good. We all good. Get to it. What you think?
All right, I'll make this quick. Now, the question was, are married people miserable? I'm going to say the only people I can see as being miserable in marriages are the people who get married for all the wrong reasons. Like the sister just said, people get married out of desperation. Like she said, they don't want to be over 40, single with no kids. So they feel like they have to get married, start a family by the time they're 21, 23, 24, 25, 26, but do it before you're damn near 30 years old. So they get married just so they can, I don't know, beat the time clock or beat the biological clock, as they like to say. That's what they want to do. And as far as hitting the wall is concerned, I don't think hitting the wall has much to do with your age. When I hear people say you're 40 years old, single with no kids, you hit the wall. No, you could hit the wall at just about any age. You got people hitting the wall before they even get out of fucking high school. They hit the wall while they're still in middle school. So that can happen at any age. If you're fucking around at age, I don't know, 16, 17, 18, by the time you're 20 years old, you're damaged goods. You're over the top. You're over the hill. You're all fucked up. So you can hit the wall at just about any age. I don't give a damn how old you are. That's my take on it.
Okay, fair enough. I do agree with that hitting the wall thing. I'm like, I've seen a
You
lot
see
of
some of
people in
these
their
20-year-olds.
right. I see a lot of people in their 20s at a wall. I'm like, damn, baby, what happened to you? You okay?
Woo.
We call those highway miles,
Are you married?
city miles, or highway miles.
Yes.
So you say that if a person looking a little suspect for their age, you're like, is that city miles or highway miles? Cause
I want to know if Rodville is married. If so, how long has he been married for? Because he's talking about a lot of compromise and sacrifices and this, that, and that. I hope you married, sir, because I know you in your 40s. So I hope you're married because you're one hell of an advocate. I hope you're married.
why is it always compared to I've heard men scream out that women are children and that we are so emotional. I don't, again, like, what is the good, why do they want to be in relationships anyway? Like, if it's this bad, like, what's the positive? This like a candidate that's not even trying to persuade you. You just like, I'm not gonna give you my vote. You ain't even trying. You ain't even got a sign.
That the campaign? No gracias.
Yes, you know it. Like, it's almost like for them to go out of their way to try to make these changes about how us as women, how we relate to one another, all of this yak, all of a sudden, we ruling the world. Who's the president of the United States? Who's still the majority of the Senate, the House? It ain't women. It's men. Who are the titans of industry in this country? Men. Who's the richest person in the world? A French man. I wish I could have been able to go to the NBA. I probably would have been exactly like them dudes. Okay. If I could buy all the band boy ass without having to blink, I don't have to talk to you. I just can send my henchmen over and you're impressed because I'm in the NBA, because that's the value we've put on people. That's what men can do, that even if us as women wanted to, we can't do that. I can't go in and like, buy up the club and be seen as an equal if I'm like, yeah, I got all the dudes sitting around me. I mean, that's why I said there's never ever going to be a true balance. It's always going to kind of tip from one side to the other. All we asking is, it's been on the ground. Can we just get it up just a little bit? And that's too much. So it's like it doesn't make sense. And so to say that, oh well, you either single, you hit the wall. If you're not married, then you toss you away. Let's keep talking about the younger generation. Generation Z isn't even 30 years old yet. But yet y'all worried about what these young women are doing. But then you want to talk about women who are over 40. Bruh, you look like a booger wolf. And I'll mute up. That's it. That's how I feel.
Yeah, so going back to what Lala said, I do see her point. I do see that less people are talking about marriage. Marriage is going to change a lot, especially with this generation of kids who's making money on tap, and there's a lot of sexual fluidity. People aren't even picking gender anymore. Like, we're evolving as a species. We're evolving. Now, us 40-something years old, of course we could sit on our porch and in our rocking chair and say, back in my day. Nobody gives a fuck about back in your day. Nobody cares. These kids don't care. More power to them. That's how I see it. More fucking power to them. They're making more money than I ever could have at fucking 16 years old. You know what I'm saying? They're freer. Tristan is right on time. They're freer. They're not locked down into marriages, and they don't have the fears that we respectfully as older people, and then not you, Damien, I'm saying in general, they don't have the fears that we had growing up. I've always heard that. Well, don't get old alone. Go have those babies. Go get married. These kids, they don't give a fuck about that. They care about, I got 1,000 subscribers now, I can make some money on TikTok, right? Well, you need 10K for TikTok, but you know what I mean. On YouTube and Instagram, you need 1,000. But these kids are different, and more power to them. And I don't even see it as all a bad doom and gloom, like, where are we going to be in 10 years? We've lived our life. We're happy. I'm happy. Dane's happy married. I'm happy single. Lily's happy single. No Saint, are you happy married? We'll get back to you, sir. See, everybody's different. Whatever works for you works for you. But I'm just saying, like Dame said, we're all coming from our experiences. Though I think Dame omits some of his experiences conveniently. But I think you omit some of your experiences, Dame, un poquito.
I had a lot of fun.
Okay, that's fine. And I'm just saying, I acknowledge the fun that I've had, and I have male friends who've counted on me, and I've been their crying shoulder, and they've told me a lot of stories and showed me videos and pictures, and you know what I mean? So the same way men know how women operate, women know how men operate. There's evidence everywhere. And not just women, because someone said, have you ever seen a divorced woman? But, men rejoice when they divorce too. They rejoice because they're out. They're out. The ones that get divorced happily and it doesn't fuck up their pocket and they get to see their children and co-parent, those men are happy as fuck. Look at Dr. Dre had a whole sign behind it that said divorced as fuck when he got divorced. People are happy to get out of marriages that they felt locked into. Marriage, I'm telling you, marriage is a lot of work, a lot of compromise, a lot of boundaries, a lot of barriers, a lot of things. You have to change who you are. I'm a social butterfly. I love my male friends. I hug people when I see them. I roast my guy friends. They roast me. I can't do that shit if I'm married.
Why can't you?
I can't do it because
that man has to be so secure with himself. Like he would have to be.
Stop playing.
Hold on.
I never heard no dude say he was cool with his wife having a lot of male friends. There's some dudes that don't even like you having a lot of female friends. Come on, man. You know.
No, I thought we were talking about something, because I was just saying how I'm on your show doing all this shit, and I don't feel hesitant. There's no argument.
Amen, but you also told us, I'm going to rewind the tape on you.
Okay.
You also told us that one of your little key friends ran to sit on you, and you had to, if you were married, would you have had to?
If I wasn't married? No, she could have sat all day.
Thank you. That is my point. That's why I can't do it if I'm married. I can't give the whole hug to my friend if I'm married. I got to give him the church joint. Like, hey, and probably not even the church joint, I can't even give him. Like, I can't joke with him about sex. I can't joke. Not if I'm married. I better watch my damn lip.
I joke about sex on this play all the time.
Huh?
I joke about sex all the time. I can hear my wife on the phone with her girlfriends joking about sex.
Damien, if we were all in person, all of us, the entire panel, in a hotel room in Vegas, could you FaceTime your wife and I'm all KKK, Lily, everybody, all the girls are like, hey, Damien, ripping your hat off, like, I'm gonna throw your hat at you, Damien. And you FaceTime your wife, she's gonna be like, okay, honey,
no.
Right.
No.
Right.
That would not be cool.
Right. It's simple respect. It's simple respect.
Absolutely. You said it. You said it best, Lily. It's respect. It's not a barrier. It's not a what you call it. It's just I don't want to put myself.
Oh my gosh. I want to be. You are so hung up on certain words.
Did you hear another woman say it? So she said.
You are so hung up on the semantics.
And across the field.
I think
that's right.
She's supposed to be the new Joanna. I'm gonna win her over too.
Oh, I don't know why you know she gonna pop up now.
Ooh, who are you talking about?
Every now and then I get a woman who just want to argue with me. Then I show my chest hairs and then we friends again.
Huh?
What?
I feel like a woman who just want to argue with me. Then
who wants to argue with you?
I heard my name every time.
Is that what you think? Wait,
You want to
is
be
that what
like,
you
I heard my
think?
name.
So,
Is that
maybe,
what you think? I want to argue with you?
possibly.
No, I'm gonna give it to you right now. No, that's don't be in my
Joanna in
mind.
3,
There you
2.
go.
Yeah.
But Joanna be watching. Joanna
Yes.
about to go super chat.
She on
Yeah,
her way.
you don't have to worry about that at all. That's not a thought. Like, no.
Not even a little
I
bit.
try to come up and support my girl. That's it. Now I'm supporting the ladies, and if I see y'all up here having a good convo, I'll pop up. But that's about it.
And we
I
Yeah.
think
love
you
it.
take it
And we
justly.
love
I think
it.
you get up here and be like, I don't know, I'm gonna argue with that motherfucker.
I argue with people who I don't agree with. It could be a man or a woman.
I'm kidding. Them's just jokes. It's
But
like
why is
Y'all
it
know
always
you're
Damon Haran though? Why are they
you
always the
you
ones that get picked on?
it was like when I was drinking a couple of
wait
days
a
ago.
minute. Who getting picked on, Tristan? Be careful. You're not wording that properly. Who's
Uh-oh.
getting picked on up
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
here?
whoa, whoa.
Um,
Keep it on
I'll
me.
sit there and say they get poked the
It's all
most. How
about
about
me.
that?
Why? Poked by who? What bears?
Everybody. Like they wasn't
Who's
Dame like threatening
everybody?
somebody with an axe the other
I
week.
do you think I'm poking at Dave? Like, is that what you're saying, Tristan?
No, there's a frequency of
Oh Lord.
people of the two men that get picked on the panel is Damon Haran for some reason. It's not you, it'd be in the chat and everything else.
Oh my God.
I'm just happy me and No Saint are safe.
I remind No Saint how white he is all the time.
Yeah.
But you know what though, me and No Saint, we pretty much agree on the majority of the stuff, usually in the conversations that I've had when he's been up here, so I don't know. What does that
H&M, you come
say?
up here enough. You gonna get the love. I said H&M. Hustle and muscle.
It says there's maybe a future between she and I.
See, yo, yeah. I pray No Saint's wife just magically walks by and he says these
How
things.
that work?
She gonna start a fire to bring your ass home.
But you said
No Saint showed his No Saint showed his wife one time, and I'm like this. She will run his ass over with the car if she gets an opportunity.
Oh no!
He was like our wedding photos, motherfucker, talking that shit.
Right.
Yeah. I would say don't get married. Do not.
Don't tell people don't get married.
Don't get married. Let me finish because you jumping in. I don't know for what with your sugar box. He got those sugar on everything. Let me finish. Okay. Don't get married because your parents are pressuring you to.
Oh.
Don't get married because the biological clock is ticking. Don't get married because you're afraid no one's going to be around to wipe your ass. Plenty of people wipe asses, the people that are not married to them, okay? Don't do it. Do not do it because that's all you've ever seen and you're a little girl that was told you're going to look beautiful in your white dress one day. Do not get married because you don't want to get your own soup when you have a cold. Do not get married for those reasons. Get married because you want a life partner and you want to share good times and bad times with another person. Get married for those reasons. It's not that hard, but most people get married for all the other reasons I just said. And that's why you fuck up. Because you realize like, all right, I wanted partnership, but I don't like you much. I don't like having sex with you. Your sex is weird. You don't do your fingernails. I got to consider you all the fucking time. And I don't want to consider you much, to be honest. I don't like what you fucking eat. I don't like how you chew, right? Now we got these kids because sex makes babies. Now we got to raise them, right? That's what happens. That's what happens to marriage. And I heard that so much. Like, why don't you leave? We got these kids. Why don't you leave? That's just too expensive.
That sounds miserable.
It is a misery. It is, like Lala had a point. It is a misery. And dare I say, it's a bigger misery and burden than being single and not having a Valentine's Day date.
I got myself.
On February 13, you're not going to give a fuck. On February 15, the married people are still going to be together and remember this motherfucker cheated on me 2 years ago. He sure did. Right? So I'd rather be single and have a cold than be married and be responsible for a whole man. And that's another thing. You guys are a lot of work. Men are a lot of work. I don't know why men think that they make life easy for women. You guys are a lot of work. Outside of paying for bills, y'all are a lot of work. Y'all a lot of work.
Man, listen, I tell every guy that comes to me about relationship issues, I'm like, we are always the problem. And they're like, oh, no, we're not. I'm like, yes, we are. Because when we were growing up, who did the aunties and the mothers always yell at to wash their ass? It was always the boys.
Get in the tub.
I'll say we have been a consistent problem. Trust me, I'm like, these women, like, you messing with these women, I'm like, you had a shower problem before you met her. She's gonna find out, and it's going to be a problem.
If I tell you the men that I done like hosed down and dressed up and just made better human beings, let me tell you, I should be Mother Teresa. Not
Yeah.
But look, I don't want, like I said, my sugar I'm pouring on everything. I told you, I'm been divorced before, so it ain't all sugar. I know that marriage can be miserable because I was miserable in my first marriage. Absolutely was. That's why I got out of it. You know, so it can be horrible and it can be great. It just, you know, if you really know who you are and what you need as opposed to what you think you want. Because my first wife was everything I wanted before I knew what I wanted, you know, before I knew what I needed. So if you go in there, like you said, if it's all enamored with, oh my God, this person got so much money. Oh, her ass is so fat. I don't want nobody else to hit. Just like you said, then it's going right in the fucking toilet. But I mean, if you take the time, I really think people should get married in their 20s at all. I think they should like have time to like go and explore life and, you know, do all the wild shit you want to do. And then it's just like one of those things like, okay, that's done. That holds no more. Whenever it gets to the point where it holds no more sway on you, to just then you decide, okay, what do I want the rest of my life to look like? And that's the kind of internal contemplation I had to do for myself. What do I want the rest of my life to look like? So I had to stop doing the wild shit before I got married. It wasn't like, oh, I met you, now I'm gonna stop the wild shit. I really feel like if you still have that, like the selfishness, the bullshit on you, it's going to impact the people that you meet. So you're not going to meet high value. I don't mean like high value to you. I'm not talking about high value men or nothing like that, but high value to you, to where you value it highly and you want to put in the work and you're willing to put in the work, and it's not a chore to do it. Because like I said, I got married the first time for the wrong reasons. I got married like I was in the military, and they promote get married and you get extra money, you get a lot of money and stuff like that. So I met a woman who had a great kid, felt like I was in the mind frame I wanted to be a dad, you know, sex was good with her, so I just said, okay, cool, I'm gonna marry your ass. But we were
that's a great point that you made, Damien, because let's not forget, wives are used to calm the savage beast. That's why there are a lot of businesses that encourage men to be married, especially when they're commodities like athletes. Get married because we need your life to be intact so you could be on this field and playing for us. Get married, get settled down, have some kids. So, I mean, there's proof that women do calm men down.
Yeah, but you need to be, I feel like as a man, you need to already have a lot of that bullshit off your heart already. You can't be thinking, you know, like I see cats who was smashing chicks and then they married 6 months later. You got to give yourself a good amount of time to really figure out, you know, why that shit is not who you are anymore. You need to be settled in yourself. You need to be that husband before you get married. Just put it that way.
I agree. I've seen one time this party I went to, and I've heard guys all the time that there's the special, like at bachelor party, the groom is fucking the stripper. Yep. Like if you still feel the need to fuck the stripper right before you get married.
If you even feel need to have a bachelor party because the bachelor party, oh, your last night of freedom. If you have that mentality, maybe you shouldn't be getting married. I didn't even have a bachelor party. As wild as my life been, I had 0 bachelor party. You know, and it's just like because I don't know. I didn't see it as my last night of freedom.
Right.
You know? So
which is crazy because you've been fucking random women all prior up to that. So it doesn't make sense to me.
So, like I said, I've had a buffet, so it's like nothing. You know, there's no reason for me to like still wonder. I'm like,
Even that, like your last night of freedom. No, I'm not going into anything where
yeah.
it's from one day to another. Now I'm no longer free. I'm not doing it.
Uh-uh.
I don't even like how that sounds. Your last night of freedom. All right, guys. I think we've exhausted this conversation. This was a good one. Got a little
It
weird.
was.
The homeboy in the truck got a little weird. And then we had a guy come up with a sock on his face. I mean, only on the block. Only
And
on
the
the block.
dude
You
was
you be
having some
really
real
having drug
good
dealers
points.
up here, yo. You gotta get your friends out of here. Jen, I thought you was over with that life, okay?
Gosh.
The sock on the face dude had some really good points. That's the crazy
No,
part.
He was a good addition.
he
He was a
he
good
was a
addition.
joy. And I made the exception because I like seeing faces, but I guess that was us compromising and meeting halfway.
Tomorrow, it's
It turned out
Veganista's.
good, didn't it? No, I'm just kidding.
Veganista's trial well, I don't know, because Brienne was supposed to be her
Her lawyer, her defense attorney, right?
yeah. I don't
Her
listen, I'll entertain this for y'all. I don't want Veganista back here, but
her defense attorney is out on maternity leave, so we're gonna have to extend this trial date to a later date, unfortunately.
I don't want that motherfucker back here. But if y'all want to entertain it, I will do it. But
Oh,
I
it's gonna be
what?
entertainment.
You know
I
what?
think it's
Oh yeah.
I'll be Veganista's attorney if you want. I'll do it.
Yeah, I thought the 2 weeks was the sentence. I thought we all said. I thought we all
I
kind
don't
of
no,
voted that
no.
she'd be
I'm
back.
going to show you how impartial I could be, because you know, real attorneys, if they need to take their emotion out of it and just be the person's advocate, I could do that.
Jen, I think it'll be fun.
I'll say it like this though, right? If Dame brings a good defense for Veganista, automatically she has to be unbanned, because as much shit as she give Dame and Dame defends her,
Yeah, how are you
give
gonna
that
be the
man
defense
$2.
attorney,
Like
Dame?
I said, I don't
night chocolate.
I don't internalize that shit. I mean, one act that to me does not a person make. It could be, you know, I've had off nights. Everybody can have an off night.
We all do.
Or
I
off.
agree. We've all I have a lot of off nights, especially after the 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
I don't think her issue was an off night. She's a very toxic person. The straw that broke the camel's back that night happened, but she's a toxic person. And when Annalisa came up here, she was always like, it's like throwing water on a gremlin. Like I say, she gets fueled by Annalisa because now there's 2 toxic motherfuckers floating around. So an off night doesn't bother me. We're all gonna go crazy up here at one point in time. There's still enough love here to be like whatever the fuck ever with all of us. But I would not have to be here during the trial.
You gotta be.
I would leave the panel to y'all, and you tell me the results. I'll be in my chambers. And we can sidebar after. I don't think I can take it. I don't think I can, because I loathe people that are that negative and that toxic. I loathe them to the core. Loathe them.
All right, I'll do what some of my what you call it, my advocation would be for her would be like, but do you think she's shown a history of being relatively sound? If the people like Annalisa doesn't come to exacerbate things or kind of make her act out, has she shown a history of being like a really good person? Because I've seen you like give her props many a show and show love to her many show and agreed with the points that she was making many of show. I'm just saying, because somebody might have come in and kind of like put a bug in her ear and she ran with it, you know, that does, like I said, that doesn't necessarily mean that's who she is. Is the person that you were cool with, that you were okay with and liking the interaction with for a significantly amount of time prior to that, is that the real person? That the night that she had Annalisa on it, is that the real person? And if it is, are we condemning her for one act or is it the history? Do we not take in consideration her history on this show?
That's a great argument. Let me rebut.
See, this is what we gotta say for if we do the trial, because
let me rebut. Let me rebut. That's a great argument. Very, very nice. But here's the thing.
I think we're having a block, baby.
You have to let the trolls live, right? So when you have seen me address her in the chat, I knew she was being negative. Like, she went after the guys a lot. She has a thing against men, obviously. And I would acknowledge, I'm like, here come veganista, or when I was eating my bison burger, let me not eat this in front of veganista because she's vegan, right? So I would address her that way. It wasn't amicable. It's like, trolls are going to troll. We need trolls for the chat. Great. Right. So that was my rapport with her. I've never spoken to her outside of the chat like I do with you guys. Never spoken to her outside of the chat. So it was more an acknowledgement of like, hey, here come the funny troll. But she's always been negative. Let's be clear. She's always been negative. But I snapped that night because I felt like they were picking on someone, in my opinion. And Brienne's in the chat. Hi, Mama. What she said?
Hey,
Brienne said, I need a backup attorney, y'all, just in case, because I think things are happening.
Uh-oh.
We got that block, baby. We waiting on that block, baby. We are.
Block, baby.
So that's my rebut. My rebut is that her reputation is such, her record, her rap sheet is very negative, very toxic. But I got guys like the JR, the guy I addressed today. I let him live in the chat. I could get rid of him.
That was gonna be my retort. It was like, but there is a time we have history of people saying some very egregious thing that still have the ability to come up and voice their opinion. And so is that a fair to judge people by, okay, she is saying some egregious stuff, but like JR is saying some egregious stuff and he can still come around? That's the question I would have. And do you think it's at all possible that regardless of what she's saying, she's getting some insight from this panel? That it's possible that something might trigger something where it snaps and she says, you know what, I do agree, or that might be possible. Could this be, do you think there's the possibility of a teachable moment, or you think that she's just a lost person who is going to be gone forever, who has no capacity to absorb what we're trying to put out there and affect any type of significant change?
They say once a good girl's gone bad, she's gone forever.
In the immortal words of Stacey. Again, great argument, good question. Here's the thing. The JR usually attacks me, right? And I always say, attack me. I can handle it. Attack me. But when I see a bully, right? And here's how I deem her a bully. She's attacking men that she knows are not going to attack back at my behest, right? Because I requested, guys, don't attack her. Don't attack the women. Let the women be irate and irrational and emotional and whatever. Let them wall out. So I felt like she took advantage of that. And then when they went after Brienne, that's what made me snap. People are wondering if I wasn't clear. That really made me snap. It's already bad that she's going after men that I asked not to clap back at her. But now you're going after a woman who's just happy to be married, is showing us her baked cookies, is happy to serve her man. She's subservient. She's submissive. And you're attacking her. I mean, they were calling her Mammy. And that's why I snapped.
Was it Veganista or was it Annalisa?
It was Annalisa who said the word Mammy. Veganista started co-signing and she jumped in and doing whatever and what have you. But Veganista's always been toxic. It's just when those two are together, they're the Wonder Twins.
Gotcha. Do you think that it's impossible for her to come back under certain understood and in direct parameters, as far as if you get one shot, if you start the bullshit where the toxic behavior continues, you'll be summarily dismissed, banned for life?
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't think it's possible for her to change, but as far as her return, I'll allow it. I'll allow her to come back, and then I will make another sign that says I told you so, and I'll keep it on this side of the desk. And I will gladly waive it once she acts up again. I don't think that she could change. I think when someone is that negative and that toxic, I think there's something internal going on. But if you guys wanted to give her another shot, and Veganista, I know you're watching, as you often are, because you were here every single night, you're allowed to come back, but I'd have to figure out how to unblock her. But she's allowed to come back. I'll go into my block list. I'll pull her out, and I'll pull out a couple other people too, because I know they're all lurking. Just for shits and giggles for 2023, I will let her come back. I will unblock her. And if you know Veganista personally or whatever, let her know that on the block with Jen, we'll unblock her. And then we'll take it from there. I don't think she can change, but you guys are more hopeful than me.
Okay, Veganista, don't let us down. Show that you have the capacity.
Wait. Don't say us. Don't say us. Don't let you down. You defend her, sir. That's your client.
Brienne says, the happiness I feel in my marriage makes negative people even more miserable. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Ana Jurado said, I don't want her back.
Oh, damn.
The People's Court with Jen Garcia. Judge Jen instead of Judge Judy. Look, I'm ready, y'all. Y'all think I'm ready. I am ready.
That's the most floppy looking gavel I've ever seen.
So, Veganista, if you saw value in this panel and this discussions that we have, and you feel like it's something that you want to be a part of and can be respectful and just state your points without being showing any kind of toxicity, come on back, I guess, and we'll welcome you back in. We'll give you a second chance. We like the California judicial system. Get on out there.
But
Right.
wait. But wait, I have a quick question. Not to be one of those people, but how are you gonna go to court and not address the jury? You gotta come up here and face your jury. I think that's a fair trade. That's fair.
Tristan starting shit.
What happened? What happened?
Don't you think that's fair though? Like, we're caping and holding court for a motherfucker that hasn't even ever been on the panel. Ever.
It's not like she has to came up, but you gotta be up here to, you know.
Didn't we offer her like $300 or something like
that?
We did.
See, I'm still mad at y'all about that because y'all could have gave me that $300.
Man, you came up for free. You camed up for free.
First of all, I was asleep, all right, and I was not going downstairs. I'm a straight man. Listen. If the steak is cooked right, listen, my drawers is coming off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was just that the name calling really, you know what I mean, it grinded my gears. And had it happened with, and that's why I stressed, like, they were taking advantage, I feel, of our kindness. That whole kindness for weakness shit, that's what was on display that night. Right? That's what was on display that night.
There's a certain group of people that seem to do this. They come up and they don't even address the topic specifically. They sit there and argue with other people in the chat. They come up here specifically for that reason, to just go back and forth with people in the chat. They don't pay attention to the topic. They don't give remarks directly on what we're saying, no rebuts or insights on what we're saying. They just get into people's chat, and their whole stream is arguing with somebody in the chat. You know, and I feel, and it's just like, I just don't understand the thinking behind that. That, to me, that seems like a waste of energy, but whatever.
To me, I just think people just need to accept the fact that we live in a country where we are all different, but we all have to basically cohabitate with each other. You know, it's just a respect thing. Just because you don't like the way somebody's lifestyle is, like, you don't, doesn't necessarily mean you have to try to eviscerate them. It's not a bad thing. Like, Jen's a full-blown atheist, right? And I guarantee you she probably has the most religious friends.
They're all mostly Christian.
Tyrone Church is like, ever.
Yeah. And that's the thing, that Damon, that's how I felt like she was I didn't even block Annalicia, but Annalicia was like, no, the bridge was burned. That's the thing, Damon, that with Veganista, that's how it was. It was with her, like I never saw her covering the topic per se. She would always just bash what you guys were saying. Like, oh, it's an echo chamber. Oh, these men this. Oh, these men that. No. And remedial. Everybody's remedial. Everyone's remedial. It's remedial. It's a
You talking about
remedial.
Annalisa? Or you talking about Veganista?
Huh?
You talking about Annalisa or Veganista?
Yeah. No, Annalicia.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
It
yeah.
was just but with Veganista, like she was always in the chat just going at the guys.
Yeah.
Right. And I would peep game, and I was like, but that she never came up to discuss, oh, let's talk about what Lala said. Let me throw in the chat what I think that Lala said. She would just wait to hear your reaction. And even if you farted, she would say that fart was wrong because they're men.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. Though. She'd be like, see, men get away with farting and women can't. Our expectation is to never fart.
Okay, just everybody don't be mad with me, okay? Don't get mad, all right? Y'all gotta promise y'all can't get mad.
I'm not promising not to
I was
get
going to say, I'm not making no promises I can't keep.
What you doing?
What did Lala say?
Lala said that.
Because it says 3 hours and 33 minutes, and I have yet to hear that video, whatever y'all talking about.
She should have played the video.
What are you talking about? We spoke about that for like 2 hours and a half, Tristan.
You make it seem like I'm not at work.
Oh, but I said we've been talked about that. This is the cool down.
No.
Everybody's leaving now.
Okay, cool.
You made it seem like you wasn't at work because you act like you listened all straight.
Oh no, I have 3 monitors at work, so y'all like in the little square, so I just have the chat open. Like I can pop out the chat.
Line. We're on the co-check line. Talking shit.
Mr. Dab Circle is in the chat himself. What's up?
Who?
Yo,
Mr.
I need to copyright
Circle.
that. I gotta copyright that.
Not the dab circle.
Hey, somebody need to send Jen a search that says dab circle.
Right, dab circle.
I'm about to trademark that.
House of Matrix says, I like Annalicia. She makes good points, but she has too much pride.
You just like looking at her. Keep it funky. Stop.
No, she does. She just talks very fast, and then when she gets going, it's like you're about to say something that's highly irrelevant and disrespectful.
Dalavan said, I want Annalicia to come back. I didn't block Annalicia. I blocked Veganista, but I didn't block Annalicia. But Annalicia is
Don says that, and next thing you know, it's gonna be you ask for her to come back, you get what you pay for.
I just don't think that I don't think that Annalicia can communicate without calling people out of their name. Yeah, I don't think she can. Like she even said herself, I'm gonna do my best. It shouldn't be that hard to do someone's name. It should never be that hard. It should not be like pulling teeth. And she literally said that night, she was like, oh, I'm about to go up there and page Brienne. I'm about to cam up. Give me a minute. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Uh-oh.
Like, what is this? So I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, man. If I didn't think it would like derail the conversations, many a time I'm gonna be like, have you ever had a conversation with a black man that did not escalate into a shouting match? I'm like, do you have the ability to do that?
Yes, I've seen her do it. She does it on the Themis channel. She's on their panel. She's like a permanent panel member. She's very much on her best behavior. That is another reason why I snapped, because I've seen you capable of talking like a decent human being. So I was like, there's something on the block that makes you think disrespecting people is okay. So I'm about to pump your little brakes, okay? Because I've seen her do it on other panels. She's quite civil on other panels. But over here, the men are remedial. And I'm going to call them hat. And I'm going to call them tie. And I'm going to call you out your name. And I'm like, no, that's not cool. That's not cool. So I was like, yeah, no. Now, I'll say this. I haven't blocked her. And Alicia, if you out there, you want to come back and you guys don't mind being disrespected by her, but I'm not going to jump in it. You guys can argue with her. I'm not going to jump in it. I'm not going to tell nobody pipe down. Whatever she's calling you, whether she's calling you earphones, hat, tie, t-shirt, whatever she's calling you remedial, calling you, whatever she's doing, that's on y'all. I'm not going to mute her mic. Y'all go at it. If y'all want her back, that's the deal. I'm not going to jump in it.
That one, I would. No, I'm gonna have to recuse myself from that case.
Where are you going? Wait a minute. You can't just.
No. I am going to have to recuse, and not because she said anything to me personally, because most of the time she doesn't come to me personally. But she just hurt. I don't know. She'd be she's dangerous to me. If you are her friend in real life, I think she would be a dangerous person to be friends with, because I see her getting you into some shit.
Oh, you mean like starting some shit with a man and then you there and then
yeah.
Right.
Hey, mustache.
So funny. Hey, mustache.
Oh, Don says, "Nah, I don't want that responsibility. I'm good."
John said, "Nah,
I'm good. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it's not." And we have great conversations. If I do say so myself, even though we disagree a lot, we have great conversation. Don said, "And Alicia called me a dweeb,"
and it was on.
She just can't do it. And I'm all for shit. If reciprocate. If somebody's attacking you, go ham. But I'm like, a man can't even come up here with a hat on.
Can't have a hat, a mustache, a tie, a beard.
Can't have nothing. You know?
All right, Four Eyes. All right, Four Eyes.
Right. Wait, does she ever call you glasses?
No. No, we're good.
Yeah, she always liked no saying because he was a black man. Because you're not a black man.
And said some nice things. So.
Well, it's because you're not a black man.
Nice things about you.
Yeah.
She loves no saying.
Yeah, because he's not a black man.
Hey, I can't help that.
I mean, I made a joke about it, and then she was like, "We're cool. I thought we were cool." I'm like, "We cool. I make a joke about everybody. So you take yourself that serious?"
Well, I know Anna Alicia likes Freaky Friday. You could come tomorrow, Mama. Ron DeMarco says Anna is more violent than me out here, and I'm 260 pounds and bench 300. I'd be cooling, man.
Yeah, she don't like Freaky Friday. She just would sit up here and say nothing and just kind of scoff and make faces and stuff. She don't get down with the get down. She don't even want, like, we're talking about slapping somebody. She was like, "Oh, clutch the pearl."
She wanted to slap somebody, but the guy didn't let her.
See, well, maybe she's different in real life when somebody's in her face. She there you go. She has to get her bossing up on here because in real life she don't feel that she has the ability to do so. She's too scared in real life. I don't know.
I mean, listen, pretty girl. Like, I just wish it was different. I thought she was a great addition to the panel, and I wholeheartedly mean that. No bullshit. She's a great look. Aesthetically, she's intelligent. She's fast. You know what I mean? Like, sharp as a whip. I love people like that. I fucking love them. But I did too much reeling in. And after a while, it's like, I started feeling like a man. Like, bitch, everywhere we go, you got to start some shit. I started feeling like a dude. I don't want to feel like that because I got enough going on. I'm watching the chat and people want to come up and then watching the numbers in my time. And I can't constantly be like.
She said that one thing, and I think you touched on it, was when she said, "Yeah, sometimes I just come over here because to start shit." Like, sometimes she said that. I think she said something to that effect. Like, yeah, you know. I was like, "So what is your goal? What is your end game? What is your purpose? Why are you here?" You know,
that was the beginning of the end, that conversation you had with her, because that was the first time I heard her say she doesn't even have a reason to be arguing and fighting. She just does it when she comes over here to start shit because it's good YouTube, I believe she said, or something to that effect. It's like entertaining, and I'm like, oh, wait a fucking minute now.
Yeah,
that's not the channel I'm trying to have. And if I was, honey, I am more than capable. More than capable.
You don't need us to do that.
Right. So I was like, so you're aware that you're
Mhm.
fucking with people. And that was the beginning of the end. Once that conversation happened, Damien, it's your fault, Dame. He's like, I don't know.
I had to verbally dox her, I guess.
And I was sitting back watching. I was like, I really want to know how she's going to answer this. And she didn't have an answer. And you asked her, do you even care about the Black community? Like, what is the end goal?
I remember that. Yeah.
Remember, she didn't have an answer. And I was like,
Mhm.
you didn't even care all this time.
Nope.
Fuck.
She just wanted to get her rocks off, her anger out.
The BDSM was kicking in.
Right.
Hell yeah.
Who hurt you? What Black man hurt you? You know?
Thank you for the super chat. Last super chat of the night. Fahim Jackson says, Annalicia rage is excessive. So it's best she steps back. That venom might accidentally turn to you, Jen. Then it could go off the rails. Well, it went off the rails that night. Annalicia was like, the bridge is burned. Jen I don't want to talk to Jen ever again.
When'd she say that?
Behind the scenes.
Oh.
Behind the
Tyrone
scenes.
Church. Tyrone Church blamed me for everybody problems. Yeah, I know.
Him comes with his sugar. He's like, no, look, all kinds of people.
Damien. I'm the omen of destruction and death.
Damien Omen.
I got that all my life. All my life. The funny thing is, I was born the year it came out.
Oh, Damien. Damien.
I got that all my life.
Well, where there's smoke, there's fire, Dame.
You know.
No, let me tell you something. I was mad at Dame. You know what I was mad at Dame? Because he almost made me fucking laugh the night that I was going off on him. Because I was very aware of what I was doing. I was like, I'm a fucking bully them now. I'm a bully Annalisa and I'm a bully Veganista. So they see how it feels. I was very aware of what I was doing when I was calling them out their name and everything. Because I'm like, you need a taste of your own medicine. So I'm trying to do that. And Damien pulls his hat down and and I almost started laughing, and I was like, fuck, I gotta stay in this because I'm teasing these bitches not to pick off people, but that had me down. Damien was like, it's finally happening.
Right, trying to stay in character.
If I had popcorn, I'd be eating it right now.
It was so funny. Damien just sank in his chair. I was like, yo.
I had one of those moments, but you were so enraged you didn't see it. Lily saw it when I was about to say something. Like, shoot! I hit the...
both of us did it that day. We both went mute. We don't need to.
Now see, they got me scaring my panel. No, take it back, Damien. No, I'm done.
Man, she cost me an A. I'm still upset about that test.
Yeah, and she ran to Tristan when that was going down. That was funny. Poor thing.
I literally got an 89 on that test, and it cost me an A. I'm upset.
Thank you. Tap records or records. Is it records or records? He says Jen curates the panel with great people, very enjoyable. Yeah, we could have a little crazy up here every now and then. The guy today arguing with himself in his truck, his work truck.
That was great. That was great.
Yeah, wait, he was arguing?
Nothing will beat old boy that fell asleep and hit his head on the table.
Oh my God.
There's nothing you got that's gonna beat that.
He said,
No, because Simon woke up and just started to have a little crack attack and then went back to sleep.
We were like, Simon, you're awake. Oh.
I mean, I laughed at that for like 15 minutes. I played it back.
Simon doesn't know that video even exists. I gotta send it to him. I'm like, you passed out on the panel. I gotta tell him.
Man, listen, I got that whole video. It is hilarious.
I saw the replay.
He goes, pow.
Yeah, I watched the replay because I left early that night.
Yeah, I like how your boy Mr. T be trying to talk to us laying on his stomach. I don't know why that bothers me so much. I was like, boy, we are way too light skinned to be talking to each other with you laying on your stomach. You're too grown for that.
All right, guys. So are we back for Freaky Friday tomorrow?
If you're doing it this early, I'm gonna say no.
No,
No, we're gonna do it later.
Okay, because I
Fridays
can be
is
talking
gonna
about dick and
be-
pussy with my kids walking around. They're like,
No, Lily, we going late, right? Fridays
Yeah.
we go late.
Yeah. For sure. Yep.
Friday we go late. I'll try to.
See,
Mm-hmm.
I know Jen don't believe in God, but for some reason my schedule lines up with her stuff. Cause I've been coming home around 11 o'clock for years,
I am a god.
and she changes the time. Next thing you know, I'm like, oh, there's no work. Oh, there's no meetings. All right, I'm going home. And Jen
No,
is live. I'm like,
tomorrow.
it makes no sense.
No, Fridays I don't mind going on late. I'll think of something juicy. There is a guy that I want to invite. He's one of those I think he does the BDSM stuff, and he has an interesting point of view of women. Very interesting point of view. I follow him on Instagram, so I'll invite him, see if he wants to come through, talk his shit.
we got to get down.
So is he? But see, is he the? He's the master.
What's his damn name? I forgot his name.
Is he a dom?
He's definitely a master.
Okay.
He's definitely a master. I know that.
Him and Haran are probably gonna have some interesting conversation.
Right. This is gonna be good.
Sometimes they'll go both ways, I guess. But
yeah, I'll try to get him up here.
I'm coming in the chat like this tomorrow. Straight nun outfit.
Don't come in here praying for us. We don't want to be saved.
Y'all some heathens.
We don't want to be saved.
Definitely don't want to be saved. I'm good. Yeah, I'll find him. I am trying to put the atheist panel together. What are you guys doing Saturday to my atheist on the panel?
I will be in a car driving to Houston.
Oh.
I got business in Houston next week.
Oh, can you pick up a brisket at my dad's house and ship it?
There you go. Give me the address.
So on Saturday, you're gonna be in Houston, Dame?
Well, depending on how they like, I was in Minnesota. If the internet is cool, I can just jump on from the hotel if it's all good. But I can't. I don't want to.
Houston, man. I got good internet in Houston.
I mean, some hotels though. You think the high end hotels, and then it's shit.
It is iffy.
The atheists are gonna pull up.
I'll let TJ know. TJ, you'll definitely have a lot to say on that.
Oh yeah, because I may not be here anyway on Saturday. I got an early flight on Sunday morning.
Oh, nice.
I got to fly out at 6 a.m. So, and y'all know I'm not a morning person. So,
yeah. So we'll do the let's see if I can get everybody together for Saturday. But I would like some religious people up here to, you know what I mean? The atheists are gonna pull up. I'm putting my horns back.
I need E-Black religious ass to be on that one.
Yeah, E-Black.
Oh my God.
Christian. I'll get E-Black back up here.
You cannot waver that man.
He's a super
Christian. Let's find some Hebrew Israelites in those same. We just go around and bring that toxicity over here.
Israelites are exhausting though.
Wait, no, Saint. Did you hear what happened to Rob?
To who?
Rob Rack. You heard what happened to him?
No, what happened? I saw there was somebody. I was gonna watch a video because I saw somebody doing something on him. What happened?
Oh, he got arrested, and he's a felon. Right, so he's already a felon. Yeah, he's already a felon. But when he got arrested, he had two guns on him, and in California, they count each bullet that they find. He's about to go to jail for life.
Ooh, so that's him, and then this guy JJ7000, who's another. No, I don't think Rob Brack's an Israelite though, but the other guy was, and he's in trial for beating his white girlfriend. That's what's hilarious. He had a white girlfriend, but he was a Hebrew Israelite proclaiming that,
Yo, them panels are hilariously hypocritical.
We still have about 40 people watching. Please hit that like and subscribe. Also, if you're watching and you are a religious person, because I think we got enough atheists pulling up, but if you're watching, you're a religious person, make yourself available on Saturday so you can debate with the heathens. Hit me up on the block with Jen at Gmail. Let me know who you are, if you are religious or know someone that can debate religion and why.
I know someone, but I don't know if you pull up or not, but man, he's really good. He's an apologetics Christian. I don't know if you know what that, if you're familiar with that. Yeah, he debates. He's pretty good. He's been to college and shit like that for seminary and stuff like that, but
yeah, whoever's religious, because I think we have enough atheists.
Yeah, definitely. Also, I'll see if there's anybody out there, but
I may not be back. Haran said I may not be back until Tuesday. Bam, moving process to another state. Well, yay on your move, and make sure you're back.
Where was he? What state
He's
was
in
he
New York. He was in New York, right?
He was still in New York?
Yeah.
And he's moving. So where's he moving now?
It's St. Louis, right? Is it St. Louis around? I don't want to get it wrong. I think it's St. Louis. Is it St. Louis you're going to? St. Louis?
It says St. Louis like this is the 1940s. Down to St. Louis.
To St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Yes, he's moving to St. Louis. He said yes. All right, guys, we're out of here. Tristan, take us out, your lady.
One more before. I just want to give a last thing to people out there on the subject of marriage.
Yes.
And I hope I just didn't forget it because I had this going on all night. I was thinking I gotta close.
I keep telling you, no Saint. This is why every time Damon get to talking, this is what my notes look like. I'm like,
motherfucker.
Here's your best bet because you forget.
God. Oh well, forget it. It was good too, but oh well. It'll come back to me tonight when I'm sleeping or something.
In the comments of the show.
No. It was something about the topic, and I was gonna say something about marriage, but
marriage being good, marriage being bad, marriage.
No, I mean it wasn't. It was just. It's never gonna. Just forget it because it's never gonna be anything. Yeah, I can't think of it, so I lost it. It was something I was thinking of, and it was probably 20 minutes ago, and I was like, I'll end the show with that, but I can't think of it now.
Dude, no Saint. That's your lesson, pen. That's the only way I can keep track of everybody. If not, I'll be up here babbling. Thank you so much, everyone in the chat, for holding me down. I appreciate y'all. Please hit that like and subscribe. Meet us here tomorrow for Freaky Friday, where we talk about ass cracking and tips. So bring your drinks, your smoke, whatever it is you do, and your sense of humor. Our Friday nights are light. Okay, they're light. It's all about sex, love, and the wet shit. All right, Tristan, get us out of here.
Because I have homework to do within the next 30 minutes. I love you all. Class dismissed.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys. All right, everybody. If you're still here for any strange reason, hit that like and subscribe for me. Don't forget to share my videos if they interest you and you had a good time or you want to show your friends. Look at what these motherfuckers said about X, Y, and Z. Feel free to share, okay? Talk amongst yourselves, argue amongst yourselves. Don't forget, everyone is welcome on the block long as you cam up. We don't argue with avatars here, okay? We just don't. Don't forget, if you want to support the show, Cash App on the block with Jen or Super Chat. It's too late for the Super Chat now because I am camming down. So if you want to support me via Cash App, I also got a Cash App during the show and I do want to thank this person from Damien. Thank you so much, Damien, for supporting the show with that Cash App. I appreciate y'all. And I see you tomorrow for Freaky Friday, okay? Don't forget to leave me a comment in the comment section because it helps me in the algorithm. It doesn't have to be a sentence. It could be a thumbs up. It could be a happy face. It could be like, whatever you want to throw in there. It helps me with the algorithm. All right, guys. Donovan, what are you talking about? Oh, he's going roller skating. Oh, you suck. Come out to Vegas and skate. All right, guys. So I am out. Good night. Enjoy the rest of your evening. See you mañana. Bye.